Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio, and a beautiful Redemption Thursday to you and yours. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free. Always don't miss anything, but if you do miss something, remember, we'll get you caught up. We post the show upon its conclusion, all 3 hours of it, both on iTunes and our own audio vault. That's a good thing. You can always email the show as well. JCS at 979ESPNradio.com. Find me on Twitter at JCameronShow, WTSM app for your mobile devices. And on YouTube, it's ESPN Tallahassee. All right, so this is getting good. We got some good games this weekend. Redemption Thursday, I'll get to it. The World Series last night, simply astonishingly good. I mean, things you just don't see. It was one for the ages. And you know, I think we say that from time to time, but this was literally one for the ages. An all-time game, the kind of a game that if your parents let you stay up and watch it and you're kind of younger, 10, 12 years old, something like that, you're remembering this one forever. I still have games like that from my youth where you beg your parents to stay up for a big football game or a big baseball game, and it turns out to deliver in a way you could never imagine. It's why you love sports. It's why you like sports more than you do scripted shows. I mean, you can't script that.
Well, frankly, yeah, I thought it was going to be an early-ish night because it's a 3-1 lead again, and Seager hits that home run, screams immediately after he hits the home run, which is hilarious. Reminds me of Happy Gilmore when they're doing the montage. Mm-hmm. And, I'm thinking, well, that's done. Jansen's in the game. He's going for 6 outs. It's 2 runs. It's 2 runs they got to cover here. Mm-hmm. And then they scratch one across in the 8th inning, and I think, all right, well.
Now you just got to run into one.
We'll see.
But they do.
And then they do, and then you get extra innings, a couple of glorious extra innings with incredible drama. Yeah, what a night.
You'll hear me mention these records, these numbers, these stats throughout the show today because it's a point worth hammering home. But the Astros, of course, defeat the Dodgers 7-6 in the aforementioned extra innings of this baseball game in 11 innings. And it featured a record right off the bat, 8 home runs in the game. That's a World Series record. And Houston notched its first ever win in a World Series game. They got swept the last time they were there, the only time they've been there. And they became the first team in postseason history to hit 3 home runs in extra innings of a game. The Dodgers, by the way, this is how you lay this out. The Dodgers entered the game 98-0 on the season when leading after 8 innings. That's how dominant they've been out of the pen. 98-0. They were the only team in Major League Baseball that hadn't lost such a game. Everybody has a bad night. Everybody has a guy come in and blow a save. Everybody has a guy cost you a game, leaves one up, something happens. Baseball's baseball. Not the Dodgers. Not until last night. The bullpen's 28-inning scoreless streak snapped in the 8th inning, which was the longest scoreless streak in a single postseason in Major League Baseball history. A lot of Major League Baseball history following these numbers, right? Yeah. That in and of itself is astonishing. Again, you had the firsts list, which is insane. I copied and pasted everything I could read today, this morning. Just make sure we get all of these. First game with 5 extra inning home runs in the history of the regular season or playoffs. So baseball in history ever been played well over 100 years. What you saw last night was the first time it's ever happened. All I could think about was Timmy Kirchin. Oh. He's so fond of
I always say it.
Yeah.
This is why I say it.
Yeah, it's true. And he got, it's on display last night. First game with 5 extra inning home runs. There's only been 22 total in the history of baseball. And so basically, not only did 5 happen last night, it's just odd to think, there's 22, 17 prior to last night. I mean, it's so few. And then you get 5. It's crazy. First World Series game ever with a combined 8 home runs. Dodgers' first time losing a game when they had to lead. They did 8 innings this season. Astros' first World Series win. Astros' first team with a home run in the 9th, the 10th, and the 11th inning of a postseason game. And first team with back-to-back extra inning home runs in World Series history. That one kind of surprises me. I mean, I guess, I would have thought that you would have had some back-to-back home
Million
runs.
exclamation point.
Yeah.
All those years in Yankee Stadium, short porch or something like that.
Yeah, and, listen, I mean, what can you say about Jose Altuve? First go-ahead home run in extra innings of a World Series game since David Freese's walk-off home run in Game 6 of the 2011 World Series for the Cardinals against the Rangers, which my buddy still hasn't recovered from.
Oh, man.
That's actually that's the worst beat I've ever seen. I thought Francisco Cabrera against my Pirates was a toughie because of what it represented, and it wasn't in the World Series, but it essentially ended a franchise for the next 3 decades.
In my personal life, I've seen 2 worst beats in fantasy football. One was the Michael Vick Monday night game, and the other one was I got the sack fumble recovery on a meaningless play as time expired.
That's a fumble.
That was Denver, San Diego. We're out north side of town.
I still remember it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fumble, and you're like, what does it matter? It matters greatly.
It matters greatly.
I'm
That's
down
a
a
fumble.
point.
They got to call that a fumble. That is a fumble.
By the way, we're wrapping things up here tonight.
Yeah.
That was a fumble recovery.
And you're
for
like,
the
yes! Carlos Correa, his home run was the second of back-to-back home runs for the Astros right after Altuve. It was the second time in postseason history that a team has hit back-to-back home runs. The Mariners did it in Game 1 of the 2000 ALDS. Marwin, but not in extra innings, I guess. So, but anyhow, Marwin Gonzalez, first career postseason home run, first career game-tying home run. I mean, just
right, the unlikeliest of sources. But that's what happens, man, when you score in the 8th inning. It's one swing.
Corey Seager, by the way, became the second youngest player in franchise history with a World Series home run. Do you remember Pete Reiser?
I can't say I do.
No, yeah, he was the youngest back in 1941.
Oh,
you don't remember
old
you don't-
Reiser.
no,
Old Reiser.
Old Reiser, yeah.
That's what they called him.
Jock Peterson hit his first home run since July 26th. Jesus. My man. What have we been doing here, Jacques?
That one surprised you.
Yeah, what are we doing? Enrique Hernandez, game-tying hit in the 10th inning. Dodgers' first hit of the game that wasn't a home run.
Well,
That's
okay,
absurd.
but that's the thing. Before you even get to the drama in the 8th, the 9th inning, and then, of course, in extras, you have an eminently fascinating game where a couple of bounces go the Dodgers' way, one of which was the first run of the game. It scored on a single to center, and Taylor's making a do-or-die play.
And it hits off the brim of the
bounces
cap.
off the brim of the cap and goes right to Peterson and left.
Which is nuts.
It's
yeah.
2-0 runner on third with 1 out. Instead, only 1 run comes across, and then Verlander's pitching no hits into the 5th, and he gives up 2 hits. They're both home runs, and you think, wow, the team that's deserving is not going to win. How about baseball?
By the way, in his career, that's the 3rd time in a World Series game that he's given up multiple homers. And yet it's completely unfair to use that as a statistic because he was great. He was great. He just 2 hits, 2 bombs. What are you going to do? It's unfortunate. But he once again had another line where if you look at his history in the postseason, you'll note that, listen, the Astros 9-0 in games started by Justin Verlander this season, combining regular season and postseason games now. Now, some of that is just silly luck.
I'm just stuck on the hat brim thing. It's crazy because it's the new era hat, which has a firm brim. But if that happened in 1942,
Might have broken his head.
could have broken his head, or
Yeah.
it would have been a flimsy brim and it rolls all the way to the wall.
Kenley Jansen, by the way, had converted his first 12 postseason save chances of his career. So you saw first last night there, too. It goes on. I keep looking up these numbers over and over again. I keep thinking, this is bizarre. You remember after Game 1 where we gave you the crazy statistic about how the winner of Game 1 has won 25 of the last 29 World Series, whatever it is. The Game 3 winner of a best-of-7 postseason series that's tied at 1 game apiece, which is where we're at now, has gone on to win the World Series 69% of the time.
Nice.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was hoping you'd be there for me, buddy. I'm so proud of you. Redemption Thursday wagers. Penn State plus 6.5 against Ohio State. I'll do it. That's a team also known as Ohio State. Notre Dame minus 7.5 against NC State. I'll do it. That's because Notre Dame, you've been good to me. I'm so proud of you this year, Notre Dame. My kids have needed new shoes, and you have come through in a big way.
If they win this game and cover for you again,
I'm going to come in here in a Notre Dame shirt on.
well, I'm going to get the clip from The Departed when Leo's in
Yeah.
Sheen's house, and he
Yeah,
goes,
yeah.
"That's my son, Patrick. He
Yeah.
goes to Notre Dame."
Yeah.
And he says it with such pride.
I'm going to say it. I'm going to be so proud of Notre Dame if they cover this game against NC State. And I don't even care about Notre Dame. But I've been on them since the beginning of the season. I thought they looked pretty good early. Happened to watch that. Well, first of all, that Georgia game this year was great. So I remember thinking when that game ended, those are two good teams. Not one, those are two good teams. Turns out that's true. And for whatever reason, Vegas has just been, they haven't really, the number has never exceeded. Every week I'm like, well, they're going to, last week we joked about it on the air. I said, they're going to kill Southern Cal. What's this 3.5? Get the hell up out of here with this nonsense. They're going to beat Southern Cal by 21.
Bend over.
Yes, exactly. This, however, is a little different. I'm only taking Notre Dame on a 7.5 this week because I feel like I owe it to them.
They've been good to you.
They've been good to me. And I do think they're going to win, but I think 31-21.
I like to jump on that one right out the gate.
You going to take NC State?
I think the wrong team might be favored.
Come get your whooping.
Wrong team might be favored.
Come get your whooping. You can't be going against Notre Dame. Tennessee +4 against Kentucky. Okay. All right. Look, we got to pick 10. I like Tennessee +4 against Kentucky. Georgia -14.5 against Florida. Now, here's your chance. If you're Georgia and you're a Georgia fan, former player, just a casual observer, coach, anything to do with just a resident of Athens, you got to beat Florida's ass here. Like, you got to beat Florida by 80 if you can.
Bend over.
This has to be a record-setting afternoon for Georgia, right? This is, it all sets up. I get it, the curse, the streaks, everything. No. If you get a chance, Flea Flickers up 28.
Bend over.
It's got to be, we're setting a record out here today, and we are forever ending this nonsense. The onslaught of butt kickings begins today.
Yeah, it's like Mark Richt, you know?
Yeah.
Like when he put his stamp.
The whole team goes out
go
on the
on
field.
out there. Go ahead.
That's it. We're doing this.
That was 10 years ago now, you know?
And it didn't really lead to multiple successes against Florida. It just, this has to be that if you're Georgia. Virginia Tech -15.5 against Duke. That's a Tom Lang special. If I'm going to rip T. Lizzie for going the wrong path in some NFL games, I got to
Carolina last week.
Cost me.
I should just pick Carolina every week.
I should have been 7-3 instead of 6-4.
Yeah, I should pick Carolina every week. They won't score another offensive touchdown.
You can't do that. No, I think you just leave the NFL alone. You're getting it all wrong. I don't want you to know. Virginia Tech -15.5 against Duke. Arizona State +3.5 against Southern Cal. As good as I feel about Notre Dame is as bad as I feel about Southern Cal every week, so screw them. And I'll take Baylor +9 against Texas. Washington -17.5 against UCLA, who's terrible. And I'll take the Canes to drop way more than 20 on North Carolina and win going away. And then finally in the NFL, I did take the Bucks. I took the Bucks in a desperation mode, giving 2 to Carolina.
Okay.
Well, it's maybe what I want to have happen. I had to take an NFL game, so I'll do it.
I'm thinking that probably would have been a 40-unit play for you last week with Notre Dame and Southern Cal. That was your game of the year. That was your college football game of the year.
Yeah, because I mentioned it every day last week. If you guys listen to me and you want to make some money, I've got you. We've been rolling this year. I had another winning week. I'm going to start my own service up. Lee, I'm coming for you. But what I'm telling you is this. On Monday, I mentioned Notre Dame. On Tuesday, I mentioned Notre Dame. On Wednesday, I mentioned Notre Dame. When you hear that, it may be an indicator that in my personal life, that's a game I'm playing.
Okay, so for my buddy Chris, who's out in Vegas right now, this is what he was going to go make the trip to Boston, but then he won a contest at work 4 days paid for out in Vegas.
Nice.
How cool is that?
Nice contest to win.
He is a diehard follower of the show, and he knows that you've been on the money this year. He knows you're doing well.
I'm on fire.
You're
yes.
doing well. He wants to know, the games you feel good about on that list. What games are you feeling? 30-plus units of confidence this weekend.
You know what? That's a different discussion. We'll talk about it at some point in the show because, in truth, you and I were talking before the show about a lot of things, including last night's amazing World Series game. But and also Florida State's bad luck with injury. I'll get to that in a second, too. This will be a lengthy opening segment. But also, we were noticing that Vegas is in prime form. Sometimes when you're a sporting guy or gal, you notice certain things, trends, because that's what you do. And you click on the Vegas odds at the beginning. As soon as you see the first lines coming out, and you're like, oh, that's interesting. I'll see if that gets bet down or if that gets bet back up, or what do they know that I don't know? And then you're scouring the injury reports, and you're doing that kind of thing. And some weeks, you're just, especially when you've really got something going, you'll look and you'll go, well, they've got this wrong. And I don't know why they have this wrong, but they've had this team wrong all year long. And I'm going to continue to take advantage of them. It's almost incredulous. You have to trust yourself, but you don't believe you should because obviously those buildings out in Vegas are built for a reason.
Yeah.
And it's not because you're right more than Vegas. You know what I mean?
Well, to me, yeah, this is the thought process. This is how it goes for this week. When you're a little bit skittish about the numbers.
Well, that's what I was going to get to.
Yeah, you go, well, 13 points. That's ridiculous. They'll cover that. But I could see how they might not cover that.
Yeah. When they get you in limbo early.
Hey, what do they know?
I went into limbo with the quickness this week. I was so impressed with what they did. Now, the NFL, I just leave alone in general, unless it's one of those double-digit dogs thing. But for college this week, we were going through these matchups just as a viewer. I mean, if you hate the betting angle, I get it. There's a lot of people who get queasy when you start talking about gambling. It makes the money easy. Fine, don't bet. You're a grown-up. I'm a grown-up. Whatever. But what I'm telling you is this. You can use it, too, as a marker. You can use it as a way of gauging, where a team's at. And it's helpful, it's insightful in terms of not only how Vegas ranks a team, but, what are they in the eyes of Vegas, who does a good job with this stuff, compared to the AP poll, the coaches poll, or, what are the odds that you see this team moving on and becoming a playoff team? By the way, this weekend, after this weekend concludes, we'll get that college football, the first rankings. We'll get a lot of answers in the college football playoff committee and all that. So you're looking at those Vegas rankings and odds for other reasons beyond just gambling. But when you do that for this week, there are a lot of interesting indicators. A lot of things that make me believe that they're on it right now because these lines are all really good. I mean, really good. We went through almost every game, and each time I was like, well, that seems about right.
Clemson, Georgia Tech's a good example.
14.5. The hook kills you.
Yeah.
The hook kills you because it's a low possession game.
Right.
And
leans Georgia Tech.
And Georgia Tech plays pretty good defense.
Right.
Unlike some years. And so you're not going to have the ball. Clemson's going to win the game. Nobody's worried about Clemson losing the game. They're going to win the game. But are they going to win the game 28-14? And that hook is laughing at you?
Yeah. Oh, it'll laugh.
And that's what Vegas is doing. They're going, you like that hook? Get you some of that hook right there. Pay up.
That's indeed what Vegas is built upon.
Yes.
The hook.
And I'll give you another one. Louisville, Wake Forest. That number went from 6 to 3. I've seen it 3.5. If it's 3.5, maybe anything lower than that, not touching. It's.
But we've seen Wake. They play, their little patented branded
They've
defense.
also lost 3 straight games. Mm-hmm. And so what happens is the public will be all over Louisville here because from a talent standpoint, Louisville's the much better team. But I think that Louisville gets a bump based on their win over Florida State. That win over Florida State is actually not that impressive. Our turnovers had a lot to do with that, obviously. I think Louisville was ready to call it a day. They looked like a team that was ready to call it a day. We just couldn't give them a reason to call it a day. Had they lost that game, packing it in, watch them the rest of the year, maybe not even make a bowl. So now they're artificially inflated. Would you be stunned if Wake Forest beat Louisville?
Oh, boa constrictor type. Boring.
Oh, it's ridiculous,
here it
right?
is 6-6 in the third quarter. Well, that's not true. That's why that game's enticing.
I'm not touching that game.
Staying away from the
I'm
Wake
not
Louisville
leaving.
game,
I'm not leaving that game all alone, man. There's too many games this week that I won't touch them. I will jump on that Virginia Tech -15
there it
over
is.
Duke.
Yeah.
I
and
will.
Watch them not cover. But yeah.
Well, I'll blame you if that happens.
I'm used to that.
Unfortunately, we've got more bad news regarding Florida State. It seems like every time we have to pull this up, I'm talking to you about something that's disappointing. George Campbell is out for the season, and so it is. An already thin receiving core gets thinner. And, I do, you asked the question yesterday when we were kind of debating what's a fair expectation for Florida State tomorrow night. What's a fair expectation for this offense in general with the injuries they've had, with a true freshman quarterback, with the problem you lose your top offensive lineman and Landon Dickerson. Now you lose Jacques Patrick. It's not as if George had really contributed all that much this year, but George Campbell was still a guy with experience and talent. Well, he's no longer on the receiving core, and you're out there with very few in the way of numbers. And a lot of inexperience.
Yeah, you need to lean on him now. I mean, because Tate can't practice fully all week. That's what Jimbo said. He's not, 100% practicing. And Gavin's out, so you'd be using him. He'd be on the field. He'd be on the field before 87. I know, Terry's not getting on the field before 87. But
well, you got 5 scholarship receivers for the weekend, and 2 of those are freshmen. One's a converted corner in Malik Jackson. It's not a good situation. It's a sorry situation. It has me terribly concerned. I would really like to see this get turned around. I know what people say, it's a lost season, and you know what? What's it really matter anymore? Well, look, I like winning more than losing. Sometimes it's that simple. I can't sit around and watch my team lose every week and just say, well, it's a lost season. No, go win some damn football games, but it's getting harder to see a way for that to happen with the way these injuries continue to mount now. It's not just that we think some changes need to be made on the staff and they'll take place in the offseason. It's that now they're losing bodies. You wonder how they're going to move the football.
Oh, buddy. We waited all year for this season.
Well, they're still playing, man.
I
They
know.
want to win tomorrow. And you get to 3-4, and then you can see 500. There's a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel before you go to Clemson. No? Can't latch on to that?
Well, we'll see about tomorrow night.
Yeah.
It's a good gauge of effort, right? How much are we still in this thing?
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Landowners, Mahindra's inventory clearance sale is going on now. We're reducing prices like never before on the toughest tractors on earth. Like a Mahindra E-Max 22 as low as $99 a month. Or get up to $8,100 in cash back and savings. Plus, Mahindra's 7-year limited powertrain warranty comes standard.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Tallahassee Game Day is brought to you by Whole Foods Market, a leader in natural and organic food that brings the highest quality of local and global products to Tallahassee. Whole Foods Market, located at 1817 Thomasville Road, and presented by MMT Clinics of Florida. Visit mmtcfl.com.
To the pylon! That's a Seminoles touchdown!
Football season is in full swing, and so is AAA One Transmission. AAA One Transmission is locally owned and operated by Tim Pridgett, who's been servicing the Tallahassee area for over 37 years. Brakes, transmissions, electrical systems, tune-ups, and battery checks. No matter what ails your vehicle, AAA One Transmission can make your automobile healthy again. Don't put off your auto repairs. Stop it at 1023 North Monroe Street or call them at 222-2532.
You can always count on the crisp, refreshing taste of Bud Light, just like you can always count on reliable Ralph. Ask him to move that couch he moved for you last summer. Ralph will do it. Need a ride from the dentist? Better call Ralph. And he won't even film you after the laughing gas and put you online and get millions of views. He's Reliable Ralph, for Pete's sake. Reliable Ralph is famous among friends. He deserves a Bud Light. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, AB St. Louis, Missouri.
Have you ever noticed when you report an accident or a claim to an insurance company, they are very eager to get you to one of their approved body shops. They say that they guarantee the shops work, but what they're really saying is the shop works for them, not the customer. So choose a shop that is working for and looking out for you, someone you trust. It's your choice. Lisa's Paint and Body.
License number MP46050.
Mahindra's inventory clearance is going on now. We're reducing prices like never before on the toughest utility vehicles on earth. Like a Mahindra 750S Camo as low as $135 a month, or up to $3,450 in cash back and savings. only from Mahindra.
North Florida and South Georgia's authorized Mahindra dealer is TNT Super Center, US 19 South in Thomasville, and at TNTSuperCenter.com.
Offer with approved credit. See dealer for details. Program restrictions may apply.
Mom!
Honey!
A little help here?
In our house, we go through a lot of toilet paper.
Honey?
So we made the switch to new Charmin Super Mega Roll, their longest lasting roll. Charmin Super Mega Roll is 6 regular rolls in one. And now, we can enjoy more goes and less woes. Try the long-lasting new Charmin Super Mega Roll today and enjoy the go.
Beef O'Brady's Burgers across America with Des Moines Triple Bacon, Green Bay's 5-Cheeser, or the Memphis Love Me Tender. All made with premium blend Angus. Pick any two for just $17. Beefs, bet your Angus it's good.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. By the way, it is. Yes, it's time for the 11th annual Brewfest. All right. Over 200 beer varieties with unlimited sampling presented by the Tallahassee Sunrise Rotary Club. Come sample varieties of craft beer to learn what you like. The event is in 2 days. October the 28th from 5 to 8, held at the Antique Car Museum. General admission is $39 with food available for purchase. VIPs have exclusive access from 4 to 5. All net proceeds going to charity is the key here. Brewfest, it's not sold out just yet. You still got a chance, but it does sell out pretty quick. So let's get on it right now. BrewfestTallahassee.com, and you'll find out more there. You can go to the Facebook page for Brewfest. We're going to give away a pair of tickets to Brewfest later in the program. So
not now. Put the phones down.
No. Relatively soon.
Put your phone down.
Happy birthday, Jonathan Ferris. Been a long-time listener to this program, and I will note again that it is your birthday. Happy 27th, sir. And there you go. Let's keep moving on.
October birthdays, man.
Yeah, you feel any different today? No, a little tired.
A little tired,
maybe.
Yeah.
Perhaps just a little bit tired.
It was a nice dinner.
It was a good time, wasn't it?
No, it was a good time. Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
The CP was rowdy last night for the World Series. How could you not be, though?
That is a World Series game for the ages, and when we do What's on Tap later, I got to admit, as much as I'm looking forward to Lightning hockey, I got to say, I mean, you're not going to top what we saw last night. You're just not.
I will say, though, as the people who are like, all right, they're not talking baseball. Hockey, damn it, man. But the Lightning have played a lot of entertaining games. I don't know about tonight being one of those, but they played a lot of showstoppers for a regular season.
Yeah, and then they have the game's best record currently, so let's hope that continues. By the way, how excited are you to watch 7-0, 4-0 in conference Penn State to take on number 6 Ohio State, 6-1, 4-0 in conference? Marginally or very?
Very. This whole week, the 3:30 slate this weekend. Usually the primetime slate is the one. We build up to it, and here you go. You got a couple of 8 p.m. games, one on Fox, one on ABC. But this weekend, it's the 3:30 slate, and that is one of the heavyweights in the slate.
Well, there's a couple of reasons why, too. Penn State won last year's meeting, which snapped a 4-game losing streak in the series to Ohio State. They would go on to win the Big Ten championship, and yet Ohio State was the one to go to the college football playoffs. So you have that bitter pill for Penn State fans to swallow, and Ohio State looking at the looking to get revenge for last year's loss, if you will.
Yeah, there's no doubt. But the one thing that the two of them shared about the playoff is they scored the same amount of points in the playoff last year.
Also, Penn State is 16-1 in their last 17 games. Should be noted.
Consistency right there.
Yeah, their only loss came by 3 points in the Rose Bowl against Southern Cal, which was one of those great games. And one of those great games that I'll always remember because it was it was me down in Tampa across the street at Ferg's taking my kids to wrestling that night.
Oh, that's right.
That's exactly what
you
it
were
was.
Taking them to wrestling.
Yeah, their first ever.
That was the night I almost died on the road in Atlanta. It was underwater. There were 4 or 5 wrecks on the way to the airport.
So I guess we'll both always remember that game. Yes,
yeah, in some variety.
One of the great Rose Bowls of all time.
Well, when I came back from the airport, what the hell happened?
Yeah, it was crazy.
And my brother-in-law said, everything? You missed everything.
James Franklin's got a chance to do something he's never done before. Beat an AP-ranked opponent on the road. He is 0-8 in such games as a head coach. 0-3 at Penn State, with all 8 losses coming by double figures. We want to shake that one, my friend.
Yeah, that's
going to need to shake that one, right? He'll look to beat Urban Meyer, though, in back-to-back seasons, something only 2 head coaches have ever done, both while Meyer was at Florida. Nick Saban did it in 2009 and 2010, and Tommy Tuberville did it to him in 2006-07 with Auburn.
Boy, Tommy Tuberville was a...
Old Tommy Tuberville.
Yeah, he was a little tricky coach. Not that great of a broadcaster, though.
And by the way, should be noted that Penn State, another reason for the intrigue, is looking to beat Michigan and Ohio State in consecutive weeks, something only one team has done in the last 50 years. 2008 Nittany Lions. The Penn State team would go on to share the Big Ten title back then, 11-2 finish.
Is that the game you're most interested in the middle slate? You got Florida, Georgia, which should be, as you said last segment. Yeah. Then you got, of course, what's the game? I've forgotten now. Notre Dame, NC State. How could I forget?
I was going to say, good Lord, sir.
Well, I'm only 31.
Yeah, but you had a good night.
No. The thing was, TCU, Iowa State kept on popping up in my head. I'm like, yes, but that's not the other main game. That is an upset watch game. But Notre Dame and NC State also at 3:30. It sounds like you need about 3 or 4 TVs this weekend.
We're going to have a lot going on here. Georgia, Florida is one I watch every year because I grew up with it in a way, as did all Floridians in general. I mean, it's always been a fun game. When I was a little kid, for those that are kind of new to the program, I always tell you that my dad started taking me to Florida State games. Started taking me to Florida State games 1979, 1980. But my stepdad is a UF Law grad. He's went to school there with Bull Gator, all that. So I've got, we've got the divide in the family. But both would take me to games all the time, and I was always keenly aware, obviously, of the Georgia-Florida rivalry. And back in the day, Georgia used to own the series. And, in fact, Georgia still leads the all-time series, it should be noted.
As bad as it's been the last 20 years, yeah.
Well, the last 30 years. Florida has won 21 of the last 27 meetings.
Oh, good gracious.
Yeah, so basically once Spurrier got there, that was the end of Georgia doing a damn thing. And so, yeah, but, I imagine that's more than mounting frustration. It's been overwhelming frustration. But I always enjoy watching that game. By the way, Georgia, when entering that Florida game in the last 35 seasons, this is a crazy stat. I was looking at the numbers today because I was making my wagers. It's the 3rd time in the last 35 years that Georgia will enter this game against Florida undefeated. And the previous 2 times, Florida beat Georgia. So it happened in 2005. It happened in 2002. Georgia was 8-0. They lost. It happened in 2005. They were 7-0. They were double-digit favorites in the game in 2005 when they were 7-0, and they lost the game. And now, again, they're 14.5-point favorites, and they're 7-0. But I don't see a way. And I think in 2005 and in 2002, we looked at this game, and I was on the air back then. I can, which always kind of...
Yeah, that struck you.
Well, the 0-2 game, I'd been on the air for a little while. I wasn't just on the air. And now it's 15 years later. I can recall, though, thinking of ways in which Florida could win that game. Well, first of all, the 0-2 game, they basically were evenly matched, and it wasn't surprising Florida won. The 0-5 game, Georgia was considerably better, and that kind of turned surprising that Georgia lost that game. I can't see a way that Florida wins this game. I really can't, short of a bunch of turnovers.
Yeah, a lot of them.
Like a lot.
Probably 5.
Yes. Yeah, I can't. Florida is in shambles. I don't know how they, against that attacking Georgia defense, with Philippe, no. How is Florida going to win the game?
Well, maybe they can go call up Trayon Harris. He's undefeated against Georgia.
He went 2-0 against
He went 2-0 against Georgia.
See, that just tells you. By the way, Florida's offense under Jim McElwain, FBS rank 109th, yards per game 120th, third down conversion rate 93rd. Out of 128 FBS teams, this is McElwain in his career at Florida. Oh, but he wins the East. Sure, let's point to the record. You talk about smoke and mirrors.
You get north of Orlando in this state, and you got offensive issues. That's how that goes.
You got some serious. I mean, that is nuts. The Gators have averaged 23.6 points per game during Jim McElwain's 3 seasons as a head coach, which ranks in the bottom 20 in all the FBS. They're in the bottom 10 in total offense in the McElwain era. I mean, it is absurd. This is not even being snarky, honestly, because obviously we're having a tough year. But when you think about that, how absurd is it in the state of Florida, and you're an offensive mind, you're an offensive coach, you get that job with the resources and the talent in this state and the history at Florida, and you put out on that field over the course of the last 3 years one of the 10 worst offenses in all of college football. That's insane. He should cry himself to sleep every night. Just keep repeating, I am a loser, over and over. But he's not. He's winning games, so he can't do that. In fact, his SEC record is gaudy. But he can't feel good about that. That's insane. One of the bottom 10 in total offense. It's 3 years, too. It's not like, well, Jeff, he's only coached 6 games. No. I mean, these are amazing numbers.
Should have his players there. His players.
Yeah, ooh. Florida's won 36. Has won at least 6 games in 36 of the last 37 seasons. But with 5 games left, if you look at them, what 3? Give me 3 wins. Go look at that schedule.
I'm sure they've got a patsy before us. That's what they do. So.
But you won't find more than that. I mean, it's hard to find a way. They're not winning this game. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men on a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Landowners, Mahindra's inventory clearance sale is going on now. We're reducing prices like never before on the toughest utility vehicles on earth. Like a Mahindra XTV 750S as low as $135 a month. Or get up to $3,450 in cash back and savings. Plus, Mahindra's 3-year limited powertrain warranty comes standard.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Happening at JCPenney. This Thursday through Sunday, take 60% off exclusive brands like Liz Claiborne, Worthington, St. John's Bay, Royal Velvet, and more during our biggest sale of them all. And best of all, there's no coupon needed. Plus, rewards members get a $10 bonus reward for every $50 spent in-store or at jcp.com through October 29th. Hurry in this Thursday through Sunday for the biggest sale of them all. JCPenney. Offers represent savings on regular or original prices while supplies last. Maximum 3 bonus rewards per customer. Some restrictions and exclusions apply. See store or jcp.com for details.
Sports are defined by stats and performance, but here's a performance stat that no one wants to talk about. Erectile dysfunction affects half of all men over 40. That's 50%. If you're struggling with ED and other therapies haven't worked, isn't it time to feel like yourself again? Learn about a long-lasting ED solution from Coloplast to get you back in the game. Visit Dr. DeLay at Advanced Urology Institute, located at 2000 Centerpoint Boulevard, or call their office and set up an appointment today. 833-4-DRDELAY. That's 833-4, Dr. DeLay. The sooner you seek treatment, the sooner you can get back to feeling like your normal self. That's 833-4, Dr. DeLay.
Beef O'Brady's 2 for $20. The only hard part is choosing. First, pick a starter to share. Then pick 2 entrees like grilled shrimp and a steak bowl. All for $20. Beef O'Brady's, where 2 for $20 gets you plenty.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan, introducing Nissan's Express Service.
Express Service means oil changes in 45 minutes or less.
With no appointment necessary. Here's how it works. When you come to Kraft Nissan for an oil change, you're greeted by a dedicated Express Service advisor. Sign the advisor's iPad and have a seat in our waiting room. A team of 2 lube technicians will immediately take your car directly to service and complete the oil change. And remember, Kraft Nissan services all makes and models. We sell tires for less. Compare us to the box stores and compare us to the tire stores. We'll beat their price. Plus, new tires come with free rotations for the life of the tires. We also have our Value Advantage line of parts that are priced to compete with aftermarket and parts stores, but still have full Nissan factory warranty. So competitively priced that Kraft Nissan will give you a 30-day price match guarantee in writing. And we offer the Kraft Nissan service card, same as cash for 6 months on purchases over $299.
So give us a try. Oil changes in 45 minutes or less and no appointment necessary. Just stop by.
Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco. Service card with approved credit.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Joe Girardi's tenure as manager of the Yankees is now over. After 10 years on the job and with an expiring contract, the Yankees will get a new manager. Girardi is the 6th all-time winningest manager in franchise history, and only Joe Madden has more wins over the last 10 seasons. But in 6 playoff appearances, the Yankees won just 1 title with Girardi as manager. Speaking of Joe Madden, he'll have an all-new coaching staff with the Cubs next year. Today, the team hired Chili Davis as hitting coach and Brian Butterfield as third base coach. Both come over from the Red Sox. The rest of the Cubs staff will be announced later. Patriots linebacker and defensive captain Dante Hightower will miss the rest of the season with a torn pectoral muscle. Hightower is meeting today with Dr. James Andrews to get another opinion. He's played only 50% of the defensive snaps this year. The Week 8 schedule kicks off tonight in Baltimore. The 3-4 Ravens hosting the 4-2 Dolphins. Miami will be without quarterback Jay Cutler. He has multiple cracked ribs, but he should be ready a week from Sunday against the Raiders.
The Nissan Heisman House is back. Rush over to NissanHeismanHouse.com to enter for a chance to win a new Nissan Titan. No purchase necessary. Ends December 8th, 2017. Open to residents of the USDC 18 or older. Official rules at NissanUSA.com/Heisman House Sweepstakes.
Live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Redemption Thursday on the Jeff Cameron Show is brought to you by Frank's Auto World on West Tennessee Street, ranked by Car Gurus as the best used car dealer in Tallahassee. Check out the best selection of pre-owned vehicles in Tallahassee at franksautoworld.com.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. This always falls in the category of songs where the producer's like, got it. Got that thing. Let's go.
I don't know why, but when this came on, I pictured Jimbo singing this at karaoke.
I also like the idea of him singing this just driving down the road. I turned my camera on.
He leans into the fake mic.
He's just leaning into
my camera on.
Oh, that would be something.
Okay, so he drives in between 6 and 7 in the morning, right?
Right. That's usually, yes, that's when he
So
drives
he's going
in.
by campus and it's dead because the kids are all
No,
asleep.
he usually always stops and gets coffee.
Mm-hmm, we know that.
Yeah, he gets his coffee, and then each time that I talk to him in the morning, when we've done the Monday morning interview, He's driving in. He just got his coffee. He's sipping on it. He's driving down Thomasville Road.
So when he's closer to campus, when he's driving through campus and all the kids are asleep, he's at a traffic light. He just cranks it.
Turn my camera on. Wake up. Time to go to work.
He's got the windows down.
And they're like, damn it, coach.
Wake up, you lazy asses.
I turn my camera on.
He holds out a camera as he's driving. It's that part that I want to picture him doing. On the way. Hey, congratulations, Telvin Smith. My man extended for well over $40 million. Hey, now.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
They are indeed. It's amazing to see where he ranks in solo tackles, and I think in tackles in general, he's second.
Yes, since he was named a starter in the 2014 season, which was around week 11, I think it was. I closed the window with a note. He has the second most tackles in all of football, but the solo tackles, that has to be number one. He's got over 280 solo tackles. He is always at the bottom of the pile.
Yeah, he is really, really fast and really, really passionate and really, really talented. And I'm really happy for him because he was a great leader on one of the all-time greatest teams in NCAA football history. It's fun to watch a guy like that get rewarded for the hard work, the effort, and the passion. Congratulations to Telvin Smith, who is now rich, very, very rich.
Second contract. It can go quickly.
Yeah, you got to make it to that second contract. You get there. All that hard work is truly paying off.
I have a feeling he'll make it to the third. Football matters so much to him. As long as he stays healthy, he's going to still be good enough.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think we could use some of his passion on this football team right now. We are missing the Telvin Smith variety of passion and the Timmy Jernigan variety of passion. It's not that there's missing talent. Oh no, this team is littered with talent. And that's what's also special about 13. And I know we keep falling back on it. In a year like this, you really long for it. But the truth is, they weren't just talented, which they were. They loved football, loved to play football together, and played with great passion.
Well, that's the thing. Even in 12, we're playing Duke, and we're killing Duke at home. And there's Timmy. He's dancing.
Dancing.
Before, the TV timeout.
Couldn't wait.
He's doing the Loco Ocho.
Yeah.
And it's like 35-0.
You're like, dude.
And that guy across from us, you got to be kidding me.
He's like, this guy here.
He still cares?
Just busting my ass every play. And he's not going to let me have one freaking rep.
He's singing nursery rhymes to me before the
It's
snap.
just wrong. FSU, by the way, basketball exhibition game tonight. Noles last year, lest we forget, went 26-9. 12-6 in the ACC. Didn't lose a game at the TLC-CC. Not a one. And they won't lose this one. Central Missouri, who was very good Division II last year, went 21-9 themselves, 13-6 in their division. Decent opponent for an exhibition game, actually. Number 3 all-time amongst Division II schools in terms of win. They can play.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
And, by the way, should be noted, you remember Nate Johnson, Florida State's first two seasons of Leonard Hamilton's time here?
You love Nate Johnson.
I was a huge Nate Johnson fan. In fact, the oddity of Nate Johnson, first 2 seasons of Leonard Hamilton's tenure, 2002, 2003, 2004, was when we brought in Nate Johnson, I remember being really happy thinking, well, God, that guy's a true point guard. Look at the way he runs, operates, as a point guard. And then we didn't have one ever again. But he was the guy, right? He's their coach at Central Missouri. So you should know that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So he's there for work at Central Missouri. That's the only reason you probably want to be in Central Missouri is you got,
That's
a
correct.
gig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Nate. Welcome home, I guess, in a weird way. We'll see if the 7 returning players for the Noles have improved. Do the 6 newcomers look like they can perform at a high level? That's always something you want to see. Yeah, especially forward, center. You're just bitter over there all of a sudden.
I'm not bitter. No, that look was, they'll drop 100 tonight. We'll know in a month, maybe 6 weeks. We'll know what we got here. But they're going to drop 100 tonight in the exhibition.
If you wanted to look at the all ACC selections and all that, yesterday was Operation Basketball in Charlotte and ACC Media Days for basketball, all that goodness. you're not surprised to see that defending Atlantic Coast Conference champion Duke leads the 2017-2018 preseason media poll conducted as the league's annual Operation Basketball was held. They finished 28-9 last year. You know that. And they return Grayson Allen for year number 10.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good Lord. And another highly recruited class, all of that good stuff. Also, Bonzie Colson, who did a number on us, was voted ACC preseason player of the year for Notre Dame.
That makes sense. Yeah, last year, man, you know, I know we were really frustrated with the way it ended, but it was a rousing success of a season.
It was a great success of a season. It was
we knew you could predict what was going to happen. We were playing poorly by the standard we had set early in ACC play, specifically towards the end of the season, and even the win over Gulf Coast wasn't, you know, it was like, all right, well, hopefully that's a clunker, and then no, it wasn't.
Nope.
That was actually the better of the two efforts.
Yeah, but if I tell you almost every year, if it's possible, if we reach that place, and that it's not a place we've reached, and that's why this season is critical, but if I tell you at the beginning of every basketball season, hey, we're going to make the tournament, and, you know,
well, I think
some years we're going to win a couple of games in said tournament, some years we're not, but we're going to make it. I think that when you can get to that level of consistency, once you're there, it'll be fair, again, to ratchet up expectations to doing a little bit better. We do know how random the tournament can be, but at a place like Florida State, listen, you know, I hate diminished expectations at all times, but it's commiserate to your funding. We understand that. And you look at it, this is not an elite program, never has been. So, you know, let's get to where you establish yourself making the tournament, 3 out of 5 years?
Yeah, I mean that sounds fair.
Yeah, so you know, let's see.
Well, if the people at Operation Basketball are correct, I think they picked us to finish 8th.
They did, just behind Virginia Tech.
Well, that's right on the line right there.
That's hey, this is going to be a bubblicious year, buddy. That's what we got going here.
Hopefully, if you promise me that now, I'll take it.
I can't promise you anything with FSU basketball. I'd like to have these great certainties. Last year, I told you we were going to the dance, and we did, but that team was pretty well loaded, and we knew it.
It's like, let's make a deal. It's like, you know, you trade off for.
I'll take bubble. I'll take the last 5 games of the year, us sweating.
That's
with
great.
A chance to make the tournament.
Because I'm worried it's not. It's going to be that way.
Now,
so that's why.
You think they're going to be like, if you were voting, would you have them 10th or something, like down around where Syracuse and Wake? And by the way, how crazy is that Syracuse is just.
Well, I mean, I think they could win a game or two where you go, well, that's a nice win right there in ACC play. But there's just, you know, when Jonathan Isaac moves on to the association,
it'll hurt your feelings.
That hurts you a little bit because he stuffed the stat sheet every game. It wasn't about scoring for him. He gave you effort. He was nasty around the rim for his, you know, wafer thin body type.
You know, Bruce Bowen Jr. is down at Miami.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Oh, Bruce Brown Jr. Sorry.
Oh,
Bruce
Bowen Jr.
You know, I'm so used to saying Bruce. But he got a vote for preseason player of the year, and when you look at these accolades early, you go, well, MJ Walker, a vote or two for maybe rookie of the year. That ain't gonna happen. That's gonna be the Bagley kid. There's no.
It'd be pretty cool if it did.
It ain't happening. Hour number 2, forthcoming. Stay with.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Landowners, Mahindra's inventory clearance sale is going on now. We're reducing prices like never before on the toughest tractors on earth. Like a Mahindra E-Max 22 as low as $99 a month. Or get up to $8,100 in cash back and savings. Plus, Mahindra's 7-year limited powertrain warranty comes standard.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin, Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Only at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing.
Hey, Fido!
Yes, bud?
Hey, have you heard about that Hair of the Dog sports bar?
Yeah, it's all everyone's been barking about. It's Midtown's #1 sports bar with over 50 TVs, burgers, loaded nachos and wings, and a massive bar. Plus, Hair of the Dog is human-friendly, but you gotta keep them on a leash.
Sounds like a great place to watch those human teams play catch.
You mean football?
Hair of the Dog Sports Bar, Midtown, North Monroe behind Brugger's. Best drink prices and juiciest burgers in town.
Sexy French poodles welcome.
As a Marine serving in Afghanistan, I conducted logistics patrols in some of the world's most dangerous places.
The Sport Clips Help a Hero Scholarship Program helps U.S. military veterans like Jacob Dietz gain the education and training needed to transition into civilian life.
When I came home, I was ready for a new mission. The Sport Clips Help a Hero Scholarship is helping me get a degree in electrical engineering. Help a Hero took a load off me and my family.
You can donate to Help a Hero at all participating Sport Clips locations. Just ask your Sport Clips stylist or look for the Help a Hero donation box. And on Veterans Day, November 11th, Sport Clips will donate $1 for every haircut. That's what we call making your cut count.
My name is Jacob Dietz, United States Marine, and I'm saluting you.
Sport Clips. It's good to be a guy. To learn more about the Sport Clips Help a Hero Scholarship Program, visit sportclips.com.
Beef O'Brady's Burgers across America with Des Moines Triple Bacon, Green Bay's 5-Cheeser, or the Memphis Love Me Tender. All made with premium blend Angus. Pick any two for just $17. Beefs, bet your Angus it's good.
Broadcasting live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Joe Girardi's tenure as manager of the Yankees is now over. After 10 years on the job and with an expiring contract, the Yankees will get a new manager. Girardi is the 6th all-time winningest manager in franchise history, and only Joe Maddon has more wins over the last 10 seasons. But in 6 playoff appearances, the Yankees won just 1 title with Girardi as manager. Speaking of Joe Maddon, he'll have an all-new coaching staff with the Cubs next year. Today, the team hired Chili Davis as hitting coach and Brian Butterfield as third base coach. Both come over from the Red Sox. The rest of the Cubs staff will be announced later. Patriots linebacker and defensive captain Dante Hightower will miss the rest of the season with a torn pectoral muscle. Hightower is meeting today with Dr. James Andrews to get another opinion. He's played only 50% of the defensive snaps this year. The Week 8 schedule kicks off tonight in Baltimore. The 3-4 Ravens hosting the 4-2 Dolphins. Miami will be without quarterback Jay Cutler. He has multiple cracked ribs, but he should be ready a week from Sunday against the Raiders.
The Nissan Heisman House is back. Rush over to NissanHeismanHouse.com to enter for a chance to win a new Nissan Titan. No purchase necessary. Ends December 8th, 2017. Open to residents of the USDC 18 or older. Official rules at NissanUSA.com/Heisman House Sweepstakes.
live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Redemption Thursday on the Jeff Cameron Show is brought to you by Frank's Auto World on West Tennessee Street, ranked by Car Gurus as the best used car dealer in Tallahassee. Check out the best selection of pre-owned vehicles in Tallahassee at franksautowworld.com.
Hour number 2, Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Thanks for tuning to it. A fine Redemption Thursday to you and yours. I'm Jeff, that's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go every day to listen live via the streaming free. Always, don't miss anything. If you do miss something, go back, get caught up. All 3 hours posted every day upon the conclusion of the program, both on iTunes and in our own audio vault. You can email the show if you like. It's JCS at 979ESPNRadio.com. Find me on Twitter at JCameronShow. WTSM app for your mobile devices. And on YouTube, it's ESPN Tallahassee. We had an all-time great game last night in the World Series. It will be many years. Who knows? Maybe we never see a game quite as thrilling as that in World Series history. It was remarkable in a lot of ways. Some of the stats surrounding that game I brought up earlier. I'll bring them up again in a second. I did want to give credit to Jeff Passan, who's an MLB columnist for Yahoo, who does such good work. Tom, you love to write, and we both have a great appreciation for those who do. He writes in his lead about an hour after one of the finest games in the 113-year history of the World Series loosened its vice grip on the 38 men who played in it and the 54,293 who witnessed it and the millions lucky enough to have watched it. George Springer, Marwin Gonzalez lounged outside the Houston Astros clubhouse and tried to make sense of it. There was no sense to be made. Home runs soared, monoliths crumbled, leads evaporated, bats flipped, and emotions seesawed after 4 hours and 19 minutes of October madness. 2 excellent baseball teams did what 2 excellent baseball teams are supposed to do, which is play the sort of game that leaves throats sore and words scant. Well done, sir.
Well, I think he was motivated to
yeah,
put together a fine piece such as that.
That's a nice lead. Good on you, Jeff.
Think he enjoyed the game?
Yeah, you can write a little bit. I'll get back to the game momentarily. Give me Penn State plus 6.5 against Ohio State. Why am I feeling iffy on this game? I keep talking. Why am I iffy on this game? I just am. I'm iffy on this game. Is it Ohio State's bye week? Is that what happened?
It's Ohio State in general because you don't know who Ohio State is.
I think that's probably true, right?
Who are you?
Yeah, Kareem Garcia. Notre Dame minus 7.5 against NC State. I love how nice you've been, Notre Dame. Tennessee plus 4 against Kentucky. I don't think Kentucky's any good. I know Tennessee's not, but I'll take 4. Georgia minus 14.5. They'll obliterate Florida. Virginia Tech minus 15.5 against Duke. They'll do the same. Arizona State plus 3.5 against Southern Cal. I just make money picking against Southern Cal every week, folks. Baylor plus 9 against Texas. Feels like a Baylor win.
Whoa.
I think we're to that point where we're going to go, well, that's a rough loss, Coach Herman. And look at Baylor winning their first Big 12 game.
That interception in overtime was something else, wasn't it? I mean, it's third down. Third down, and we're tied at worst.
We were all sitting there going, what?
What
did you just – what have you done?
Oh, no.
What did you do, sir?
No.
Why would you do that?
It reminds me of the Joe Tessitore call of Missouri and South Carolina. And Mizzou's got a chip shot field goal.
Yeah.
And it hits off the upright or he misses it outright.
I remember that, yeah.
And Tessitore just, oh, no! And Spurrier kind of races to the 50.
Like,
He's like, okay, you want to hand me a win?
Hands,
I'll take a win.
Yeah. There are some games this weekend that offend me. I was joking with you earlier, just looking at some of these games. I'll get to the ones that offend me momentarily. How about that? There's some great games, too. But anyhow, let's finish up the wagers here. Washington's given 17.5 to the annual tint of suspicion that is UCLA. Although, gosh, we're going to have to tell them to move over soon. Miami minus 20 against North Carolina. They win by 40. And Tampa Bay minus 2 in the NFL over Carolina. That has
All
you
right.
very nervous.
Well, that gets you back to 3-4. That's 1-0 in the division. New Orleans next week. Okay. It's not over yet.
What would somebody have to pay you to sit down, actively engage, cozy on up to a TV with a beer in hand and some tasty beverage food to watch at the 4 o'clock kick of Vanderbilt versus South Carolina? I mean, good God, that is an offense to football.
I'd do it for $60.
60?
$60. Yeah. Like cash.
Homie. 25? $25? You know the exercise. Let's play the exercise. You throw 60, I know you'll do 50.
Am I getting beer?
Yeah, you got beer and food. You get to watch the game like you ordinarily would. It's Vanderbilt, South Carolina. You're not allowed to flip around. You're watching in its entirety Vanderbilt versus South Carolina. I'm giving you $50. You're doing it.
Is it my choice of beer and food, like within reason?
Yeah, of course. I'm not making you drink something you're not going to drink. I'm not giving you, natural light or something. I'm giving you.
That'd be, that's okay.
All right, so 50 you'd do. What about 40?
No.
It's not worth your time?
It's not worth my time.
So I couldn't give you beer, food, and $40 to watch Vanderbilt and South Carolina.
I'd take $40 with the beer and food. I'd do it.
What about 35?
No.
40 is going to be the line in the sand. What about
2
30?
20s? I just like the look of two $20 bills.
For watching football.
Yeah.
What about $39?
No. I like singles too. Like if you have a whole bunch of singles.
What if I give you 39 singles?
I'd just do it because that's cool.
Yeah.
That means you went to much trouble.
I'm going to give you 39. What about 38?
No.
So 39's the number?
Now it's on principle.
Okay, so you'll take 39
39 singles.
All right, so we figured it out. There it is. See, that's how the game's played.
$39
for you with beer and food to watch Vanderbilt versus South Carolina.
If they're all singles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I can't give you a 20, a 10.
I'll be playing with that throughout the game.
Yeah. 39 ones to watch this sorry-ass game. Yeah, well, I mean, you could do it. It could be a special. You could watch that and then carry it over to the 7:30 primetime Tennessee against Kentucky.
What are we doing for that one?
More beer, more food. Stay right in that seat. Tom, I'm glad you enjoyed Vanderbilt, South Carolina. Don't mind if I flip over here to Tennessee, Kentucky now, do you?
Okay, that's fine if you give me 39 more singles.
Oh, though you would take like 10 more. At this point, you're netting nearly $50 to watch two bad SEC teams.
There's a
Four
lot
bad SEC teams play football.
See, this is hard, though, because the slate is weighted to midday on Saturday.
Yeah, 3:30.
So I might need more now that I'm thinking about it. Because you're telling me I can't. There's no second television to have Notre Dame and
I think
and
it's
NC
interesting.
State.
I actually think this is fascinating. I wonder how, now the nation may not feel this way, and it would be weird to poll them, but just say this, the Eastern Seaboard, all the way down, right? Okay, top to bottom. What do you think the percentage of people is that would say they'd rather watch Virginia versus Pittsburgh? Virginia versus Pittsburgh
Okay.
than South Carolina versus Vanderbilt? Think it's higher?
More people want to watch South Carolina, Vandy.
They do?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah, because the people that are part of the Eastern Seaboard who would be watching.
Yeah. Well, you're talking about the footprint of those SEC teams, I guess.
I'm saying there aren't enough interested observers for Virginia and Pitt. They wouldn't choose either. You know,
the people in the South can watch it too. You're saying they're too neutral. Yeah, they're not. Yeah,
they're
it's a northern team and a
they're
pseudo-southern team.
For South Carolina.
What about Louisville, Wake Forest?
More people would watch Lamar Jackson, I think.
Okay. So Louisville, Wake Forest is a bigger draw, you think, from a television rating standpoint in the East, Southeast,
with all
than
things,
Vanderbilt, South Carolina. I think that's true.
With all things being equal. Like, you have access to those two channels. We're not talking about how many, SEC networks are in somebody's home. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Is the least watchable game of the weekend Missouri versus Connecticut? Oh. I mean, there are some. I'm not kidding you. I'm looking at this slate, going, there are some games that, damn it, man, it's just wrong.
Man,
Mizzou versus Connecticut.
Yeah, I think that might be the worst game of the year.
No. There are a lot of bad games, and we could be watching Texas State versus Coastal Carolina this weekend, Tom.
No, I'd watch that over.
The Chanticleers? You're going to watch the Chanticleers?
Man, if you are what you are, that's fine. But if you're this team trying to pretend to be something you're not,
okay,
like Mizzou.
I'll give you two pretenders. Indiana versus Maryland. Oh.
I'd rather watch that than Mizzou, Connecticut.
Well, yeah.
And it's a landslide. Like, I'll watch Elon, Ohio. I don't even know if they play each other.
Would you watch Florida International versus Marshall? They're playing this weekend.
I would watch that before I'd watch Missouri and Connecticut. I can promise you.
Okay, it's fun to kind of figure out your dollar sum needed to watch certain games and also where they rank.
Something about Mizzou too.
I hate watching Missouri play football.
Yeah.
It pisses me off. If I'm flipping around and they're on, I'm like, oh, sweet Jesus, get this off.
It's not about the region
Isn't
either.
that weird?
Because I like Kansas City.
Yeah, you got no problem.
The Chiefs.
Yeah.
Something about Mizzou.
It is something about Mizzou. Like they have no business being in the Southeastern Conference. Maybe that's it.
Maybe it's because it's a little bit of that and a little bit of, I think it's Southern Miss, and I'm disappointed every time. Like, oh, that's Mizzou. It's not Southern Miss. I'd watch Southern Miss.
You get excited about watching Southern Miss.
I don't know why. I like
the Brett
Southern
Favre
Miss.
effect.
Yeah, probably.
You know, it's odd, too, that there are teams throughout the land when you can talk to anybody who watches a lot of college football, and they'll tell you that, there are just certain teams, if the channels are being flipped around and that team comes on, you're like, well, we're not watching this. And really for no good reason, just for whatever. It's just something that clicks. It's a visual thing. Mizzou's one of them for me. When they come on, I go, well, we're not doing this.
Well, okay, the Marshall Green, for example. You gave me the FIU Marshall. Man, if Marshall's on, it's like, and they're on CBS Sports, 393. That's what they're on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll hang out with Marshall just for a minute because I watched Randy Moss and Chad Pennington.
I did too.
And Byron Leftwich.
Yeah. We all did. There was a time where Marshall had a little something.
Yeah.
I'm not racing to watch Marshall, though. If you want a really good color green, look behind you at that Michigan State.
Sure.
That's what you're doing. If you want green in your life, watch Michigan State.
That and the Dallas Stars. Look at those Dallas Stars uniforms.
Green. Yeah.
It's
Kelly Green is a good-looking
Kelly
color.
Green.
It's a really good. Forest green is nice.
It gets
Forest
into the mint green family.
Yeah. That's a good color. That's when Miami wears those greens. You go, that's the one decent uniform they have.
Where do you come out on the highlighter debate? Like a regular standard highlighter, is that green or yellow?
That's yellow.
I agree.
Yeah.
Like a golf ball. Is that green or yellow?
That's yellow. That's not green.
People call it green.
It's not green. They're wrong. All right, so the Astros doing crazy stuff last night, and we documented it in the first hour. I'll document it again in the next hour. You saw records if you stayed up last night and watched this. It was nuts. First game with 5 extra inning home runs, regular season or playoffs. First World Series game with 8 combined home runs ever. Dodgers first time losing a game in which they were leading after 8 innings. They were 98-0 before last night. This year, they were the only team that had no such losses on their ledger. The Astros' first World Series win in franchise history, so you saw first last night there as well. Astros' first team with a home run in the 9th inning, the 10th inning, the 11th inning of a postseason game, and the first team with back-to-back extra inning home runs in a World Series in World Series history. It had been done in the playoffs. It happened. Just remarkable, and you can go back through and look at what Correa and Altuve and Gonzalez and Seager and Peterson and Hernandez, so many different records and franchise records broken in this game. And, of course, it was a run game in extra innings. And it involved comebacks and lead changes, and it was incredible.
What a perfect night for it, too, because it's a Wednesday. It's away from football, so you know what I mean? If you're watching sports, chances are the vast majority of people who are watching sports, they're not watching the NBA doubleheader on ESPN. They're not watching Spurs Heat and then watching Lonzo's kid. But you're watching baseball last night, and it's the perfect time to have an all-time game.
And it set the stage because what you had prior to the game was moving and fantastic and so well prepared and executed and done for Vince Scully.
Yep.
Yeah, I know. Choke you up. It'll choke you up watching that.
Just the Benson thing.
Well, listen, man, there's nothing I can do about that. He's ancient. He's going to die. That's just the way it is. It's like if you're friends with a 100-year-old, don't be shocked when they pass. I'm saying that there's some things. I mean,
so young.
What? Martha's dead? Well, she was 102, Dad. Well, but still. No, it's not, but still. But anyhow, Vin, you sidetracked me.
Sorry.
Vin, the legend, was once again legendary, and there will be, you know what it is? You know what it is? When you recognize that you were lucky enough to live in a lifetime in which you got to see Vin Scully, and you got to hear him, you got to hear that guy do what he does, and you know the class act that he is.
Yeah, got to let him put me to sleep, and I mean this in a loving way.
I do too.
I let him put me to bed, so to speak, for years. West Coast games when the Mets are out playing the Dodgers.
Yeah, I'm 46, so, I mean, I've been watching baseball for 40 years. And, that's one of the things we talked about that will hit you when he passes, even though it's certainly understandable at his age whenever that happens. And knock on wood, it's not anytime soon, but by definition, it kind of has to be. That said, when it happens, what hits you and what hits you hard there isn't so much because he's lived an amazing life and is an incredible figure. And what a historical resource Vin Scully is, right? I mean, he's seen things that's hard to imagine. And he talks about it. And you can go back through and read books, listen to interviews, all that. But when you hear that wealth of knowledge and that history and all of that, and you know all of the times that you were listening to Vin Scully, and what happens is it's a little bit like when Tom Petty died. I'm not comparing the two in terms of their careers, but when you're able to tag each level of your growth or stage in your life, and here I am in childhood, here I am in puberty, here I am in high school, here I am in early college, here I am becoming an adult, here I am getting married, here I am having kids, here I am nearing 50 myself. Vin Scully's been a part of all of that. Like at some point in that year that went by, or that period that went by, I heard Vin Scully.
He's telling you about Aesop Choi.
Yes.
And where he comes from.
And it's amazing.
Yeah.
And so to see him last night as this thing played out, doing the play-by-play.
Uneasy.
It was it was beautiful. It was a celebration. It was amazing. And to listen to him and to hear him and to look at him and just to smile and think, thank you. Thank you, Vin. That was very, very cool. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Blountstown Highway, 574-4100.
Landowners, Mahindra's inventory clearance sale is going on now. We're reducing prices like never before on the toughest utility vehicles on earth. Like a Mahindra XTV 750S as low as $135 a month. Or get up to $3,450 in cash back and savings. Plus, Mahindra's 3-year limited powertrain warranty comes standard.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Mothballs? You're being awfully quiet. Is that because your mouth feels like the business end of a Dremel saw? Is it because your mouth just wrote a haiku and all 17 syllables were dry heaves? You're so parched. You know it. I know it. The entire radio knows it. Just admit it. You want a Mountain Dew. Your mouth feels like it just inhaled the insides of a punching bag, and the only remedy is that neon green potion. Right now, your mouth could be tongue bathing in the refreshing citrus kick of Mountain Dew. Instead, it feels like you've been motorboating King Tut's sarcophagus. Show some mercy. Crack open an ice-cold Mountain Dew. You know your mouth wants you to. Do the Dew.
RCD Shell has great prices on Mountain Dew Kickstart cans and Dew 20-ounce flavors like Code Red and Voltage. All just 99 cents. Stay hydrated and recharged with the energy boost you need to keep going strong with Kickstart and Code Red and Voltage. All just 99 cents at RCD Shell stores.
As a Marine serving in Afghanistan, I conducted logistics patrols in some of the world's most dangerous places.
The Sport Clips Help a Hero Scholarship Program helps U.S. military veterans like Jacob Dietz gain the education and training needed to transition into civilian life.
When I came home, I was ready for a new mission. The Sport Clips Help a Hero Scholarship is helping me get a degree in electrical engineering. Help a Hero took a load off me and my family.
You can donate to Help a Hero at all participating Sport Clips locations. Just ask your Sport Clips stylist or look for the Help a Hero donation box. And on Veterans Day, November 11th, Sport Clips will donate $1 for every haircut. That's what we call making your cut count.
My name is Jacob Dietz, United States Marine, and I'm saluting you.
Sport Clips. It's good to be a guy. To learn more about the Sport Clips Help a Hero Scholarship Program, visit sportclips.com.
Tallahassee is a diverse community with residents experiencing the world in different ways, but we are a community that sticks together. For 3 years, events like the Longest Table have provided spaces for us to come together and learn about what unites us instead of what keeps us apart. Now is the time for us to continue these important conversations, so let's keep talking Tallahassee. We want you to reserve your seat today.
For more information and to register, visit longesttable.com.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio, online, ESPNTallahassee.com. And it is that time, and there's plenty to be watching right about now. So if you would, let's cue it up.
Jeff, what's your plan with all of this laundry?
Not my job.
Excuse me, get off the couch already.
Wash around the clock's got it. More watching, less washing.
Ooh. Best husband ever.
It is that time. It is more watching, less washing from our friends at Wash Around the Clock and Easy Laundry. Point, click, clean, you're done. It's easy pickup and delivery at your home or office. It is the ultimate convenience, and it is saving you tons of time. In fact, I get mine back tomorrow. So do you, Tom Lang, and that's a good thing because they've got these new bags that they bring to you. I've got 2, in fact, and you stuff those suckers shut, and they've got this little thing that wraps around. You pull the little stringy there, and then they wash that thing, because it's replaceable, and they give it back to you with the new bag each time. It's wonderfully done. This last time on Tuesday, I did towels and blankets, and on Friday, I'm going to be doing dress shirts. And guess what I'm not doing? Laundry at my house, wasting a lot of damn time doing that and folding, and I got 2 kids, and I know how busy everybody is. So here's the deal. Time is money, right? Let them save you that time so that you can make more money. We got it. It's our friends at Easy Laundry, Wash Around the Clock. Go to TallahasseeLaundry.com and read all about it.
Or just save you time so you can watch more sports.
Well, that's
Who doesn't? I mean, you know, it's the third quarter of the game. It's a big drive, and
I'm not folding shirts here.
Exactly. You're being asked to do dishes or the laundry.
And that's the way it works. But
they'll be gotten to. But they'll be gotten to it. You know what? Here's one question fewer in your life, which is, where's the laundry? Well, it's already folded and done, thanks to our friends.
Convenience, time saving. It is something we know firsthand. We've utilized the service now for going on a month, a little over a month, and I can't recommend it enough. I mean that sincerely. I wouldn't endorse them otherwise. We discovered this. Dan and his people are so fantastic what they do. And listen, it saves you time and money. That's what it does. So
giant bags, too.
Oh, I love it.
If you need to drop somebody off at Sheepshead Bay, you know, it's a pretty good-sized bag.
Get that washing bag. So here's the deal. What will I be watching for the weekend and not watching? Ohio State, Penn State, Saturday 3:30. Notre Dame, NC State, Saturday 3:30. 2 different televisions, NBC and Fox for those 2 games. TCU and Iowa State. Oddly, another game at 3:30. I think I kind of want to watch. ESPN2/ABC regionally. Oklahoma State and West Virginia is another game I kind of want to watch. That's at high noon on ABC. Those would be the sort of pseudo-headliner games. Georgia, Florida is one I'm going to watch. I'll watch probably Oklahoma, Texas Tech because I'm beginning to get nervous about the Sooners. And anything else? Let's see. Any other game I got to watch? I mean, obviously tomorrow we're watching the Knowles, but no, I think that's about it. Oh, all right, Southern Cal, Arizona State.
That's right, because you have a wager on it and you want to see.
Well, I just actually will like that. That's an enjoyable game. Arizona State's fun to watch.
For me, it's on Sunday. It's Bucks Panthers because it's your season. If you
Locked
lose,
in.
the season's over. It is. Everything is done. You're
Damn
not going
it, man.
on a run.
You are correct. I hate when that much is on the line.
This early?
Oh,
Yes.
no, I don't like it.
Yeah. Cowboys, Redskins on Sunday. That's your
Touchdown
425
Cowboys.
window. You got me good there. That was a good one. That's about it, though, for the NFL. I'm looking through the slate right now. You know, there's another London game this weekend.
No, sweet Jesus. They're not going to adapt football. They hate it. Stop doing it.
9:30 in the morning on Sunday, so you got a little morning football.
Great. Well, hey, listen, that's fine. I'll wake up and watch, but
it's Vikings-Browns.
Oh, no, I won't wake up and watch. I will. I'll be doing something with the kids.
Case Keenum leading the charge into Wembley Field.
Not doing it. Yeah,
it's
not good.
Sorry, it's not even in Wembley. It's Twickenham Stadium.
Wembley Stadium is what you were going to say.
Yeah, Wembley Stadium.
Not Wembley Field.
Yeah. Wembley pitch. Sorry.
Did you see the Foo Fighters show there about 7 years ago that reruns sometimes? It's really good. Jimmy Page comes out and plays with them.
Twickenham is about
pretty badass.
Jimmy Page comes out.
Yeah, it's awesome. Jimmy Page comes out and plays with him.
So he plays.
They play rock and roll.
He plays a tune somebody else wrote. Is that what he did in the show?
No, it's just nicely done. And then Dave gets back on drums for the first time in a while.
That's cool to watch.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It's raining. The place goes crazy. It's worth your time.
Okay.
You should find it.
Well,
maybe during the break.
What do I say about sports, right? You know, if there's energy and atmosphere, it makes it more watchable.
Yeah, you'll like it. So that's more watching, less washing from our friends at Wash Around the Clock. Again, get involved. They'll welcome you to the Wash Around the Clock family. You'll be glad you did it. You'll save a lot of money in the interim. And again, go to TallahasseeLaundry.com and find out more all about that easy laundry service. It's fantastic.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Landowners, Mahindra's inventory clearance sale is going on now. We're reducing prices like never before on the toughest tractors on earth. Like a Mahindra Emax 22 as low as $99 a month. Or get up to $8,100 in cash back and savings. Plus, Mahindra's 7-year limited powertrain warranty comes standard.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When it comes to vehicle safety, having poor visibility is a risk not worth taking. Get set for this fall's weather by visiting your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store during the See Better, Drive Safer sale. You'll find deals on name brand headlights, wiper blades, and everything you need to see better and drive safer. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Each morning before you wake, you dream of breakfast like Mom used to make. Eggs, bacon, potatoes too. Can't wait to eat all this amazing food. Then the alarm bell rings and no one's cooking you anything. Real life is hard when your morning is hell. Have breakfast with a fried eggshell.
Introducing the new Naked Egg Taco. Crispy bacon, seasoned potatoes, and melty cheese wrapped in a fried egg shell. Only at Taco Bell. At participating stores for a limited time during breakfast hours.
Now when you buy select HP printers from Staples, you can print free for life. That's right. Print up to 15 pages per month for free when you buy select HP printers from Staples. Get the confidence of never running out of ink and having to run out for more. The confidence of having ink automatically show up in your mailbox before you need it. HP ink delivered to your door. Print free for life. Staples. It's pro time. Print 15 pages per month for free. Pay as you go after that or upgrade to another plan. See staples.com/printfreeforlife for details.
Hey, handsome, what's happening?
I'm ready for a beer, my man. How are you?
I am fantastic. This weather is beautiful.
Perfect, and I have a question for you. Snow cone or candy apple?
Ooh, both are sticky.
Both are tasty.
Candy apple.
No, that's the wrong answer. Halloween or Thanksgiving?
Ooh, one is sweet and the other one's savory. I'm going Thanksgiving.
Again, 16 Candles or Back to the Future?
Oh, my goodness. John Hughes or what's that boy's name? Marty McFly. I'm going 16 Candles.
Papa Grande with a Gordo smash. And by the way, I want that. Or a mountain of delicious croquetas, also with a Gordo smash.
Trick question. Either way, you're not going to lose.
Exactamundo, my brother. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The secret to better gas mileage and a longer-lasting engine? Super Lube it every 3 months or 3,000 miles. The secret to even better gas mileage? Fuel Joules, a gas tank additive that'll increase your MPG by as much as 7%. And today, when you change your oil at Super Lube, you get a free bottle of Fuel Joules. Crystal Matthews and Amber Cossack own Solid Start, the company that makes Fuel Joules.
Every time we sell a bottle of Fuel Joules, a donation will be made to the National Breast Cancer Foundation.
In October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
There are 19 Tallahassee area Super Lubes. There's probably one right around the corner right now. Free offer valid without coupons or discounts.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Joe Girardi's tenure as manager of the Yankees is now over. After 10 years on the job and with an expiring contract, the Yankees will get a new manager. Girardi is the 6th all-time winningest manager in franchise history, and only Joe Maddon has more wins over the last 10 seasons. But in 6 playoff appearances, the Yankees won just 1 title with Girardi as manager. Speaking of Joe Maddon, he'll have an all-new coaching staff with the Cubs next year. Today, the team hired Chili Davis as hitting coach and Brian Butterfield as third base coach. Both come over from the Red Sox. The rest of the Cubs staff will be announced later. Patriots linebacker and defensive captain Dante Hightower will miss the rest of the season with a torn pectoral muscle. Hightower is meeting today with Dr. James Andrews to get another opinion. He's played only 50% of the defensive snaps this year. The Week 8 schedule kicks off tonight in Baltimore. The 3-4 Ravens hosting the 4-2 Dolphins. Miami will be without quarterback Jay Cutler. He has multiple cracked ribs, but he should be ready a week from Sunday against the Raiders.
The Nissan Heisman House is back. Rush over to NissanHeismanHouse.com to enter for a chance to win a new Nissan Titan. No purchase necessary. Ends December 8th, 2017. Open to residents of the USDC 18 or older. Official rules at NissanUSA.com/Heisman House Sweepstakes.
Live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Redemption Thursday on the Jeff Cameron Show is brought to you by Frank's Auto World on West Tennessee Street, ranked by Car Gurus as the best used car dealer in Tallahassee. Check out the best selection of pre-owned vehicles in Tallahassee at franksautoworld.com.
Show 97.9 ESPN Radio. Yeah. Imagine there are a lot of people gearing up and ready to have fun tonight, watching a little bit of hockey, watching a little bit of baseball. Not baseball, excuse me, a little bit of football. And they're ready to punch that time card, buddy.
It's time for guys to be dudes.
There you go. Cue it. Let's do it.
Count 'em up. pour 'em out.
I'll just have a cup of coffee.
There it is. It's Beer 30, brought to you by the Seventh Hill Tap Room on Appalachia Parkway.
Usually live music on Thursdays, correct? Is that right?
That'll be South Monroe tonight, 8 p.m.
That's the band, not the location.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
Should be duly noted, yes.
Good
That's
point.
the band, not the location. The location is the Seventh Hill Tap Room on Appalachia Parkway, just underneath the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. All right. That is, that's Beer 30. There you go. Swing on by, listen to some music, get you a crowler.
Well, you can get a crowler.
And the
something
Cup Club?
You'd enjoy. Well, the Cup Club kicks back in on Saturday all day long.
You're
If you buy the
damn right
$10
it
cup,
does.
you get $1 off your drafts all day long.
Loving it.
That 3:30 slate, pretty cool. But they have the Bell's Abracadabra being featured, which is a heavy coffee-flavored stout. There you go.
Well, that sounds delicious, especially as we have cool weather. I'm going to enjoy said stout, right?
It's a new thing Bell's is trying out.
Porters, too, and stout. It's that time of year, Tom
Oh, yeah.
Lang. Oh, man, this is where we celebrate indeed. I look forward to it. I do not look forward to the football game tonight. It's an awful game. But, football has that draw, has that lock on us, man. I'll be watching the hockey, but what ends up happening is feel the pull to go over there and check out that Baltimore-Miami game for no damn reason other than that's just always what you've done.
Yeah, unless Devontae Parker's finally active, which I'll have to check. Ooh, remember, everyone, set your lineups, make your picks. It's Thursday night. You're welcome.
You concerned, are you?
I'm concerned about the people. Make your picks, people.
Well, a lot of people scrambling in this moment going, he's right, that's right, they're playing again. One of these stupid Thursday night games. I wonder if they will get rid of them. It would be nice if they would.
It makes too much money. You get in a bidding war with CBS and NBC for the rights to add this many games, 6 games here, 10 games there, and then Amazon has the right to the stream. So, people are paying for it out the wazoo.
No, I know it's a money thing. It always is. Follow the money forevermore. But it's just a lot of times not good. But we'll see. We've had a couple of games that shocked us this year that turned out to be doozies. How about that? Joe Girardi fired as manager. And at the end of the day, no matter the it's interesting. You look at the managers let go this year. There have been 6 fired. And 2 of them very, very, very successful. If you look at, if you want to use the average manager points that year, there are these advanced metrics that show you what a baseball gauge metric that sums up a record and playoff benchmarks and where a manager stands compared to his peers in record and games cost or won and all of that. And both managers that led their teams to the postseason, high-profile jobs in Boston and New York, were above and beyond the average. I think a tick up 2.0, somewhere around there.
We had 3 that made the playoffs this year.
That's right. Yeah. So it's interesting because John Farrell, who gets fired, that was a relationship that was souring, and a lot of the players didn't like him, and management didn't like him, and I think something can be said along the same lines for Joe. If you read the people in New York covering the Yankees and you look at insider stuff, who does a great job with that? Of course, Buster Olney, who for years covered the Yankees, wrote a book about the Yankees. He talked about how it was thought during the course of the year that Joe was going to retire, that he was so miserable during the season and he made people around him miserable, and the players couldn't help but note how intense he was always, despite the fact that the Yankees were at a schedule this year. The Yankees took a huge step forward beyond where they thought they were going before the year began. A lot of guys came of age. Obviously, they had this story with Aaron Judge, and but this year should have been, milk and honey here, baby. You got it made.
Yeah.
This was a year in which you overachieve, and yet he was more intense than ever before, some say, in that clubhouse, and that he made it very difficult.
Well, Brian Cashman was the one who cast the final vote, apparently. That's as the reports are coming out today that he said...
Well, you know what I think is funny about that, Tom, is we have audio of Brian Cashman, who's never liked Joe Girardi. So this is odd. You get this on the Jeff Cameron Show. We were able to sneak this out.
I've waited so long to tell you to your face that I hate your stinking guts. You are the most disgusting, vile son of a I've ever seen in my life.
So there was just no coming back from that, Tom. A guy can't say that to his manager and expect that they're going to be able to work together again.
I wonder who was booing. Maybe Girardi's
Other
family?
people in the room.
Yeah.
Boo.
Yeah.
Strange that he brought his wife to the meeting. But, the thing about that is Joe can be difficult. We know this. There was the time down in Miami and South Florida, and everywhere he's been described as extremely difficult.
It's an open secret. He was gunning for the Yankees job the entire time he was in Miami.
Well, right. Yeah. No. So anyhow, he gets told to have a good day. You know, the truth of the matter is, we've said this about managers for years. The interesting thing in baseball is that most of the people that certainly are within that game basically get it. I mean, situationally speaking, it's not a sport like other sports that require all that much in the way of strategy. And I'm not diminishing baseball, because baseball is very complex. But in terms of the managers throughout baseball, when to go get the lefty, how many times you use a guy in a week, and, you know, situational baseball, obviously a little bit more complex in the National League where you have the pitcher. But there aren't that many decisions that most of those guys don't have a pretty good damn handle on, right? I mean, it's pretty easy. The good managers, they'll say, can win you an extra 2 to 3 games in a year. You play 162, where their maneuvers being superior to that of their opponent might net you an extra couple of wins, which is a big damn deal if you win a division by 2 games or a game. But by and large, that's not what you're looking at. You're looking at a guy that guys want to play for, that guys love, that ease tensions in the clubhouse, that develop young players. Guys like Joe Torre, Tom
That's
Lang.
correct.
I knew what you were going to do, and I cut you off at the pass, buddy.
Hey, man. That's a manager. What's he doing? He's managing people.
Personalities. That's right.
It's about the culture you create.
I mean, what did the great Phil Jackson do if he didn't just manage superstar players, right? Mm-hmm. Certainly he didn't have to worry about the X's and O's. Oh, the triangle. Well, yeah, I got Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen. I'm going to be all right.
Yeah.
I got Kobe and Shaq. I'm going to be all right.
There's the thing. It's the 9th inning. I don't know what I want to do. So, you know what I think? I think Mo needs to come in the game.
Yeah,
I'm going to go get Rivera.
I'm going to go get Rivera. Oh, how right you were to do so, Joe Torre, in your infinite wisdom.
What is wrong with people?
Actually, I think if you're Joe Girardi, and the rumors are true that you had never been more intense than you were this season, despite really, quite frankly, overachieving in the minds of many. You need to take a couple of years off and go watch your son, who's playing high school baseball right now, and go hang out. That's true. I mean, get away from the game a little bit. You can't be that angry all the time, buddy.
What is wrong with people?
A lot of Yankee fans wanted him fired when he didn't challenge a play that really needed challenging.
What is wrong with people?
Well, Joe, you got to stand up for your guys. Now get the hell out of my office.
What is wrong with people?
Says him walking away.
Leaving.
Yeah, come
on.
on.
That's well done. All right. But damn, I mean, it is kind of strange. Like in yesteryear, you would not have seen a situation where what you have in Boston, what you have in New York, where guys are, winning 88-plus games, and then you get the hell up out of here. We're done with you. It's just, okay. Jeff Cameron, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Landowners, Mahindra's inventory clearance sale is going on now. We're reducing prices like never before on the toughest tractors on earth. Like a Mahindra E-Max 22 as low as $99 a month. Or get up to $8,100 in cash back and savings. Plus, Mahindra's 7-year limited powertrain warranty comes standard.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Your expectations and keep your records, you're not required to service with us. To maintain the warranty, you perform the manufacturer's recommended maintenance and keep your records. You can do that at any licensed repair shop in the U.S. or Canada. It's that easy. What's the catch? There are no catches, hidden fees, or gimmicks. Kraft Nissan provides the product as an added value to our customers for doing business with us. So when you're ready to buy from Kraft Nissan, the home of our original and the only real lifetime warranty at no charge. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco.
Beef O'Brady's 2 for $20. The only hard part is choosing. First, pick a starter to share. Then pick 2 entrees like grilled shrimp and a steak bowl. All for $20. Beef O'Brady's, where 2 for $20 gets you plenty.
You're listening to The Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Odd how things lately, now this is less morbid, but how things lately, we talk about them seemingly out of nowhere and the subject at hand somehow comes up in the headlines later that week or at least later in the month. Do you recall we had a tennis conversation, Tom, and you know that, I've often mentioned on the show that I grew up watching tennis and loving tennis and playing tennis and anyhow, having a place in my heart still for tennis, wishing that it would rise back to its prominence level that existed in the 80s and early 90s. And when we were talking about famous women's tennis players, which was a segment that could have gone dangerously wrong.
Sure.
Because as a red-blooded American male who is who loves ladies, I happen to comment occasionally on those that are very talented in a way that maybe it doesn't involve tennis. And so, I know that's shaky. That's shaky. Well, I'm sorry, I love women. What do you want me to do? Now, having said that, you didn't know because this solely has to do with your age. So it's less about it's the truest sense of the word ignorance, like not you choosing to be. You just weren't around to see it. So you didn't know like women's tennis players from America. Like you thought Steffi Graf was American and remember, and we were going through.
The Hingis was American.
Right. Okay. Well, there it is. You remember the conversation.
Yeah.
Martina
we talked about
Hingis.
Capriati.
Right.
We talked about, yeah.
Hingis just announced her retirement today.
Oh.
So
she's not dead.
No,
that's
good. Why I say it's decidedly. Yeah. She's only 37 years old. Now, there was a chance because, it could have been the wrong kind of headline because I will note that, what was the date I had this? I was looking at this during the break. She had made a comeback and then got suspended for cocaine use.
Oh.
So that was a toughie. That was back in 2006. She found a lot of success in her comeback when she returned to tour in 2006. She had already retired. It's now 2017, Tom. She'd already retired, returned in 2006, kicked ass mainly in doubles, and got popped for the coke. Had to call it a day.
I got you.
Then she returns to the sport. This is a crazy career is why I bring it up. Partly because we brought up Martina Hingis' name just this month, and here it is. So is there anything we want to speak into being?
Well, no.
And I didn't mean for, obviously, Benson, Robert Guillon, to die. I didn't know he
was ill, apparently.
He was dying already. Yeah. I didn't know. I don't take responsibility just for randomly mentioning Benson for Robert Guillon's death. But, lately we've been talking about things, and voila, they're back in the news, seemingly out of nowhere. Sure. Martina Hingis is the latest. She won 25 Grand Slam titles. Now, people would say, no, she did. You go look at the doubles and the mixed doubles championships that she has. She's won plenty of singles, too, but she wasn't the all-time player that some of the, she won the Australian 3 times. She reached the finals of the French twice, never won it. She won Wimbledon once. She won the U.S. Open once. But then when you look at her doubles titles, it's like every year she's steady winning. Here, doubles titles. She won the Australian doubles in 97, 98, 99, 2002, 2016. She won the French Open doubles 98 and 2000. She won the Wimbledon doubles 96, 98, 2015.
That's awesome.
In the U.S. Open doubles, she won in 1998. She didn't win it again until 2015, and she won it again this year. She just won a Grand Slam title this year.
That's some good cocaine right there.
That is, woo! So she won 7 mixed doubles titles to boot.
If she's dead tomorrow, we really need to just stop talking about people.
What do you want? This is what we do. What are we going to do? She won mixed doubles titles in the Australian Open, the French Open, the Wimbledon this year, and in 2015, the U.S. Open this year. Why is she retiring? Don't leave us, Martina.
Oh, jeez.
Don't retire.
That's why I really felt uneasy about talking about the first pitch ceremony.
Well, listen, let's talk about that for a second. I didn't mention it prior. That was awesome. But when a guy's that age,
right,
you can accept that you are watching something knowing, I mean, let's be honest, we did this with Arnold Palmer.
Well, there were clues.
Lots of them.
Yeah.
You were on that Arnie.
I was on the
You were
Arnie
on the
thing.
Arnie thing very early. You're like, Jeff, it's happening. He won't be here.
Listen
like,
to Hootie, or not Hootie,
not
whatever
Hootie
the guy's name
Ingram.
was.
Whatever that. Yeah, he was choking up.
Yeah.
Oh, well, first of all, they're doing the ceremonial tee off, and he's like, the great legend that whatever.
Right.
I'm like, he's there.
Well,
he's looking at
that,
you.
Was that the first one? Actually, the
He's
first
alive.
indicator was the interview with Jimmy Roberts.
He starts crying on the dais, right?
Well, the sign-off. Yeah, first of all, Jimmy's like tearing up. And there's
You're like, why are you tearing
and
up?
I think
He's
Arnie
having
said
a
something,
lemonade.
Jimmy, you've always been good to me. Like something like that.
Like he was, noting that since I'm never going to see you again.
It was quite literally me flipping through sports channels. And I saw
because it was a random nothing tournament.
Right. And they're wrapping up the interview. And the way
Let's
they
bring
wrap
in
it
the
up,
living legend, Arnold Palmer.
Right. Well, the way they wrap up the interview, I'm looking down at my phone probably, and I go, wait, what? What did they just say?
Why did he just say that?
DVR. And I wanted to see it. Well, thanks, Jimmy and Jimmy Roberts. All right. We'll send it back. And there's been no announcement about his health, so I'm scouring the internet.
His eyes are, getting watery, and Arnold's in tears, and you're like, what is going on at the Greater Hartford Open that we're crying about?
Yeah, everybody's walking up to him. It was Bay Hill, so everybody's walking up to him, and saying hi.
Yeah, he knew it was his
But it was
last
more
Bay
than
Hill.
just about respect, It's like, whew.
Yeah, we're saying goodbye here.
It's not respect, it's respects.
Well, Martina Hingis is only 37, and you should note that she's a Hall of Famer, and moreover, she's retired 3 separate times, and moreover, she keeps winning. She just won 2 majors this year in doubles. Stop retiring, or keep retiring and coming back. Maybe she can win another one in 2020.
She's the Chris Jericho of tennis.
It's crazy.
She just retires, comes back, and wins belts.
And tennis is a sport you can't do that in. Although that's changing too. I mean, first of all, look at the greatest women's tennis player of all time. Serena's not young. By tennis years, she's ancient, and she keeps steady kicking ass. And obviously, your guy, Roger Federer.
Oh, yeah, well.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
Team Raj all the way, buddy.
I'm just saying.
But so does Nadal. See, it's getting close again. He's starting to run him down.
Yeah.
You stop that, Rafa.
You're like, stop.
You go the hell
Tom
away,
takes all
Rafa.
this seriously. He's got his Nadal. He's got a hatred for Nadal that's not rooted in anything but that Nadal is going to surpass Federer, which,
If there is like a sport or athlete or anything where I am quite literally like the innocent fanboy waving the little
It's Roger
wooden
Federer?
stick with a flag for somebody or something, it's
mine?
me and Fed.
Who's mine? I'm trying to think who my guy is that I.
You've got one.
Well, it used to be McCutcheon, but then he made me angry. So it's not McCutcheon anymore. I don't really.
Angry Philip Rivers?
Oh, I do love him. I root for him.
Yay, Philip. Just a very simple.
I root for Philip Rivers every week. He's hilarious and unabashedly extremely competitive, cares deeply, cares not for your feelings or opinions, is one of these guys who's never going to get caught up in people hating him. He's probably never looked at Twitter or Facebook or any other such nonsense. He's just out there steady competing.
And having kids.
Well, yeah, and winning games, though. And I have respect for him because he was great at NC State. Also, he seems like a good guy from what you can tell and what you can read. I mean, I don't know him, but he seems like a good guy. And like you read interviews with teammates that also he played on that knee against New England with San Diego.
Right.
They should have won that game. He was great.
Defiance of the fans.
Outplayed
the whole thing.
Brady. He was awesome. Remember that? He's got what for? He's got moxie.
Well, he's your a-hole friend that you love. Because, when it's all right, you want to step to somebody?
My guy here.
That's my guy.
Yeah, you don't want any of that.
The funny thing was you were that way about Spurrier towards the end, especially when they played Clemson, because you just wanted another press conference.
Well,
like
but he
that.
was funny. Yeah. Well, but then he blew it because he quit. And Phillip Rivers ain't never quitting on nobody, Tom Lane. They could be down 31-0, and that dude's out there slinging it.
You're not seeing him with his feet in a bath and a towel around, a big blanket around him. He's huddled in the corner.
You'd have to pull him off the field. Like if you're a coach and your team's getting beaten, it's week 7, and you're 4-3 or whatever, and you're down 31-0 early in the third. Phillip Rivers has got his helmet on, looking at you, giving suggestions about what you can run here because he still believes they can win the game. And you're going, we've got like 3 possessions, Phillip. We can't come back. If they run the ball in the middle of the line the next 3 times and then punt to us, and we go down and score in 1 play, and then they run into the line 3 more times and punt to us, and we score 1, we still can't come back. So I'm going to have you have a seat. I need you for next week. He'd be staring at you like like you were from outer space. He'd be so pissed off. You quit on me. I've never quit on you a day in my life, and you're quitting on me. You could just see that.
Yeah, he's not the guy who goes, it just got too hard. No. He'll move on to the next thing.
You want to be on the Oregon Trail with Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, absolutely.
You want to be on the Oregon Trail with Phillip Rivers. You snap your ankle on that trail, he's got you. He's taking 2 rocks, putting them together.
Man,
come on.
Okay, I want Phillip Rivers.
We're going to get there.
I want Phillip Rivers, and I want Anquan Bolden, and we'll make it.
Oh, we will.
Anquan.
Because he's snapping the femur of people who are coming to kill you.
He's a Walter
wild
Payton
animals.
Man of the Year.
Yeah, so he's a good guy.
And he also, can grind your femur to dust.
Yeah. So he's in your corner. So what football players are we taking on the Oregon Trail? It's going to be, Anquan Bolden, Phillip Rivers.
Yeah. Vince Wilfork, because he knows how to cook.
He can't keep up. But if he dies, you could eat him.
For weeks.
Yeah, months even.
Yeah,
maybe.
But he's the cook. He loves to cook barbecue.
He does. And it would be fun sitting around the fire.
And he tells great stories.
That's what I mean. It'd be fun sitting around the fire.
Yeah.
He'd be a good storyteller.
And he's already worn overalls, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, but I also want your boy from Miami, the Kane receiver that I love. Andre
Johnson?
Yeah, I want Andre Johnson.
Yeah.
Him and Anquan are
He may
my
be
guys.
too soft for the trail. He's such a good person.
No, he's not too soft. Remember that fight with Brent Grimes?
Oh, that's true.
He's not too
Was that Grimes?
Yeah.
Oh, way back
Yeah,
when.
we'll pull it up during the break.
A different player back then.
Yeah.
Well, he got taught.
Final hour, forthcoming. Stay with Jeff Cameron, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Landowners, Mahindra's inventory clearance sale is going on now. We're reducing prices like never before on the toughest tractors on earth. Like a Mahindra Emax 22 as low as $99 a month. Or get up to $8,100 in cash back and savings. Plus, Mahindra's 7-year limited powertrain warranty comes standard.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Fist
for $18.99. Can you say Uber? Knowles, Bucks, Jags, or Finns, no matter who your favorite team is, take it to 2033 North Monroe Street and watch them at Tallahassee's favorite football hangout, the Fourth Quarter Bar and Grill.
Contact your local CenturyLink retail store to enter for a chance to win the CenturyLink Ultimate Football Fan Experience, which includes a trip to the biggest game of the year. For eligibility and official rules, go to CenturyLinkFanForLife.com/FAQ. CenturyLink, your link to what's next.
Broadcasting live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Joe Girardi's tenure as manager of the Yankees is now over. After 10 years on the job and with an expiring contract, the Yankees will get a new manager. Girardi is the 6th all-time winningest manager in franchise history, and only Joe Madden has more wins over the last 10 seasons. But in 6 playoff appearances, the Yankees won just 1 title with Girardi as manager. Speaking of Joe Madden, he'll have an all-new coaching staff with the Cubs next year. Today, the team hired Chili Davis as hitting coach and Brian Butterfield as third base coach. Both come over from the Red Sox. The rest of the Cubs staff will be announced later. Patriots linebacker and defensive captain Dante Hightower will miss the rest of the season with a torn pectoral muscle. Hightower is meeting today with Dr. James Andrews to get another opinion. He's played only 50% of the defensive snaps this year. The Week 8 schedule kicks off tonight in Baltimore. The 3-4 Ravens hosting the 4-2 Dolphins. Miami will be without quarterback Jay Cutler. He has multiple cracked ribs, but he should be ready a week from Sunday against the Raiders.
The Nissan Heisman House is back. Rush over to NissanHeismanHouse.com to enter for a chance to win a new Nissan Titan. No purchase necessary. Ends December 8th, 2017. Open to residents of the USDC 18 or older. Official rules at NissanUSA.com/Heisman House Sweepstakes.
Live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Redemption Thursday on the Jeff Cameron Show is brought to you by Frank's Auto World on West Tennessee Street, ranked by Car Gurus as the best used car dealer in Tallahassee. Check out the best selection of pre-owned vehicles in Tallahassee at franksautowworld.com.
Final hour of the Jeff Cameron Show, at least 4 today. Thanks for tuning to it. Happy Redemption Thursday, my friends. I'm Jeff, that's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free always. Don't miss anything, but hey, if you miss something, it happens. We'll post all 3 hours both on iTunes and in our own audio vault upon the conclusion of the program. You can always email the show if you like, JCS at 979. ESPNradio.com. Find me on Twitter at JCameronShow, WTSM app for your mobile devices. And on YouTube, it's ESPN Tallahassee. Happy Redemption Thursday. Wagers are going to look like this. I'll take Penn State getting 6.5 against Ohio State. Another winning week last week, by the way, gang. 6-4 last week. Doesn't quite match my 9-0-1 the week before.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
But we're rolling Big River when it comes to these wagers, and these are documented, so you can get the hell up off of me. Because this has been domination.
Documented
domination. Not just willy-nilly. You can go back and check.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Those games are posted on Thursday. You go back and through the annals, and you see a whole lot of winning tickets.
Hey, now.
Whole lot of winning tickets. Penn State plus 6.5 against Ohio State. Notre Dame minus 7.5 against NC State. You think I'm a believer in the Fighting Irish?
I believe you are.
I am. They've been winning me money. They have. I mean, I had Notre Dame killing Southern Cal, thinking that game wouldn't even be competitive, and it wasn't. Touchdown, Jason. You're fired. Oh, I like it. Tennessee's getting 4 against Kentucky. Kentucky's not any good. Tennessee's terrible, but they got better players. So in a battle of bad, give me Tennessee plus 4. They got to care.
Well, do they now?
I don't know. I'm going to take my chances with the +4, though.
Kid cares enough to flip off the Alabama fans when they score.
I did like that. Georgia -14.5 against Florida. I know the curse says that in the streak rule is that you don't bet against the streak and all that, and Florida's had like a 50-year streak on Georgia. I know it's not 50 years, but it's been insane. It's all crashing and burning now. I mean, Florida is a mess. We're rivaling it, but Florida's a real mess, and Georgia's on the up and up. Georgia is about to ride a nice wave here. They got the right guy. The message is being heard. It is being believed. They are playing as well as any team in the country. Besides Alabama. That's a fun team to watch play football. They're very physical. Georgia big. I'll give the 14.5.
Okay, so how big would the line have to be before you go,
21.
Okay.
Virginia Tech -15.5 against Duke. Duke is packing it in. They put all their eggs in that Florida State basket.
Bend over.
Calling it a day. And Tom Lang's been riding that Vautech train. They got you earlier this year. I think I took Wake or something against Vautech. It was something I got you with, and you were angry. It ended up being weird.
Well, Clemson got me with Wake. But Virginia Tech didn't, man. But, hey, listen, I'll trade a loss for 5 or 6 covers.
They've been real good. Yeah, they should cover against Duke. Arizona State's fun team, playing good at quarterback. I'll get the 3.5 against Southern Cal. I just don't think Southern Cal's any good. They keep every week. Southern Cal is, just a few point underdog here on the road against Notre Dame, or, in this case, they're a favorite again. Stop it. They're terrible.
It's the Wisconsin effect.
Yeah, it's really weird. No, give me Arizona State, who I don't think is great either, but I'll take the 3.5. Baylor's getting 9 against Texas. I'll take 9. Texas is, Washington -17.5 against UCLA, who gives up 100 points a game. It's crazy. That, too, is documented. UCLA has given up 100 points a game. I'll take Washington and give the 17.5. Because if you're going to score 100,
right?
Just think how many. UCLA is really going to have to light it up to hang in there. Miami is giving 20 to North Carolina, who's arguably the worst team in the ACC. So I'll give the 20.
Featured on Who's Cold yesterday was North Carolina.
Yeah. Some astonishing numbers with the cold numbers there for Larry.
Right. Just because Syracuse kept it close last week, Syracuse is a little bit better than people think. It doesn't mean that Miami shouldn't cover the 20. That's it. 20.
Well, they've had a scare 3 weeks in a row. Miami has, and won all of them. Georgia Tech had them beat if they don't get a lucky 4th down tip conversion to set up a field goal. Obviously, Florida State should have won the game. And Syracuse was playing well into the 4th quarter last week against Miami, but they get a breather this week as they just trounce the hapless Tar Heels. And that's karma, because they'll do, and a lot of teams have done, what the NCAA didn't bother to do. In the NFL, Tampa Bay is giving 2 points to Carolina. And this is more, I have to pick an NFL game, and I don't like to. But I'll take the Bucs out of desperation at home and hope that we get the bad Cam Newton who comes into town, like the one that played against the Bears last week and didn't score a touchdown.
That's right. This pick is not a Tom Lang special, so it's not doomed.
Yeah, you screwed me last week with Carolina. Yeah. Well, and had I heeded your advice in the other pick with you were very certain Atlanta was going to beat New England too.
Yeah.
You need to stay away from the NFL top. Just leave it alone.
Man, do you know how much I'd be up this year if pride wasn't effing with me? Do you know how much I'd be up? It's crazy.
Yeah.
I even took, I didn't tell you this one, though. I took Tennessee last week against Cleveland.
Yeah.
Tennessee -6. And Mariota played like ass.
Oh, I think Tennessee is highly overrated. People have that team going to the Super Bowl, and I'm like, well, 1 week they look like a team that's capable. The next they can lose to anybody. That's who they are.
That's the NFL this year, too. Now, situationally, if you watch that game play out, Tennessee should have won that game by between 9 and 16 points, but it kept coming up empty when it was in scoring territory. It was quite annoying to watch.
Well, and you got to ask yourself, would there be any reason whatsoever ever to be watching Tennessee versus Cleveland if you didn't have money on it? The answer is, nobody's tuning in that. It goes to overtime. I mean,
the hard part about that game especially is the inactives came out, right? Mm-hmm. And it said that Cleveland was down 2 defensive backs, starting defensive backs, and a linebacker. And I thought, well, good God, man, I don't care. It's a short week. That's an NFL team down 3 starters.
Mm-hmm.
And yet,
And
12
there
to
you
9.
sat.
There
You're
freaking
sitting there
was.
and you're watching 6-6 going.
Well, Cleveland had a goal line stand.
Okay,
Fourth, they went for it in 4th and goal. They didn't get in. I thought, well, okay, I lost. So.
I love the moment of you know what's funny is every degenerate has a moment where their bet goes south and they get this weird brand of hatred that they never had for the team that supposedly wronged them and didn't cover. Like you go from being completely indifferent to a franchise like, say, Minnesota. I know you're no longer indifferent, but I'm just using one that you would have no connection to previous to your current relationship.
Yeah, how about the Rams?
Okay, so the Rams.
I feel nothing for the Rams.
All I do is win with the Rams,
you do.
baby, every week.
Your mom needs to just pick the Rams with you every week.
Every week, I'm like, man, the Rams are for real. Now you got to leave the Rams alone.
The LA duo has really been good to you this year in the
Chargers.
Yeah,
Yep.
in the winners.
I'm just going to keep on keeping on until people figure it out. But yeah, they have. Anyhow, and I think the Chargers are an awesome story. Like that's the best story in the NFL right now that nobody is paying attention to.
Well, you know the hardest thing about what the Chargers are
Nobody's watching them.
Well, yeah, they're playing 16 road games.
Basically,
they're playing 16. Did you see the stands last week?
Mm-hmm.
It's all orange.
Yeah,
all of it.
Well, and this is cool. So they get 24,000 people to show up to a game period. So they're in a soccer stadium, and the vast majority of them are fans of the team on the road. And the Chargers start 0-4, and everybody's done. And I'm thinking they're not that bad. They should have won 3 of the 4 that they lost. You know, they kept losing. Remember, their field goal kicker cost them twice to start the year. They just kept getting screwed. So I kept saying, well, the good money, I'm going to get good money for I'm going to get good numbers for the Chargers because they're 0-4. So I'm just going to start. Now's my time. I'm going to start going in on them. And then they're not only covering, they're winning. So now the gig's going to be up. Vegas is going to figure this out. They're going to go, oh, wait a minute, the Chargers aren't bad. They had a bad record, but they're not bad. So you want to get on that cover train with me. You just got to – the time may be up. This may be the last one we get.
Well, and they're in Carson City, too. That's where that stadium is.
Yeah.
And they've really missed on an opportunity because all they needed to do was just have Javier Bardem say, hello, Carson. Hello, Carson.
Yeah, over and over and over again. That ought to be played over the speaker each week. Just hear that over the loudspeaker. Well, it's 24,000 people. I'd like to go to a game. That'd be fun.
And then Javier Bardem can be the coin toss guy.
Well, only if he cuts his hair in that manner and limps out that way.
Right. Actually, for Halloween weekend.
Yeah.
Isn't that perfect?
Ideal. George Campbell's going to miss the rest of the season, everybody.
Call it.
George Campbell going to miss the rest of the season. And, I mean.
It's a hip injury. It's a core hip.
Hey, listen now, let me say this, and all kidding aside, I hate what's happened to this young man's time here in Tallahassee. I'm not blaming anybody. Injuries are injuries. They happen. But that kid, we had such high hopes for him, and certainly he obviously came here believing that he was going to have a great career. He's a talented kid. He's a big, tall kid who can run. But he has been hurt the entire time he's been here.
Yeah.
And has really never been able to sustain any kind of momentum to get on the field. And, there's something, obviously, it's one thing to be talented, but you got to play, and you got to play a lot. And you learn quickest by doing. And when you start all the time, there's just the adjustments for him, you worry that he'll just always be hurt. And really, that may be the end of his career. I hope not. Wish him well.
It feels like a full pregnancy term ago, but remember the open practice we were at? And the receiver situation, Campbell's playing. There's Terry, and they're on the other field. And then there it is. It's Gavin and Tate and Nooney. And the times felt good. It felt like we were going to have a lot of weapons this year and a lot of options, and the receivers wouldn't be that big of a problem. When they were all healthy, Nooney was inconsistent, but it wasn't that big of a problem. And now you're just you've been eviscerated at that position. It's crazy.
Yeah, Coach Fisher saying after practice last night that Campbell's going to miss the rest of the season with that core muscle injury. It's the same injury that's hampered him since he basically signed in 2015. Of course, Keith Gavin's out with that ankle injury. FSU's down to 5 scholarship receivers for the weekend, and that includes 2 freshmen and a converted cornerback in Malik Jackson. So.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. They moved Malik over.
Yeah, so, it is something to behold what's going on here. I mean, it's not all just us talking about culture, not all just us talking about some of the things that got to change, whether you're upset about tempo or whatever it might be, right? It's also injury-related. This team is just riddled every week, another guy.
Yeah, the situation with the program is such that Hey, the World Series game was really good last night.
One of the best of all time. And I'm glad you remind me to talk about it here because it's easy to go down that rabbit hole of despair. What we witnessed, if you didn't stay up last night, just do yourself a favor and go back. You got to go back and watch. It's that good. It's all-time good. The Astros obviously defeating the Dodgers 7-6 in 11 innings, a game that featured a World Series brand new record, 8 home runs. They notched their first ever win in a World Series game, by the way. Did Houston? People forget.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. First team in postseason history to hit. Yeah, they're the first team in postseason history to ever hit 3 home runs in extra innings in a game. There were 5 hit in extra innings total. The Dodgers entered the game 98-0 on the season when leading after 8 innings. That included the playoffs. They're the only team in Major League Baseball that didn't lose such a game until last night. Their bullpen had a 28-inning scoreless streak that was snapped in the 8th inning. And that was the longest scoreless streak in a single postseason in Major League Baseball history. Records were falling fast and furious.
Yeah, we were watching together the latter stretch of this game, and when Houston scored the second run, I said, hey, man, we got ourselves a ball game now. They got to get that guy in, and they did. They single to center, and it's 3-2. 3-2. I mean, against anybody. Chapman, Mariano Rivera, as great as he was, 1 run is 1 swing. And anything could happen with 1 swing.
Well, especially when you throw hard.
Yes.
And
it's hot outside. Yeah, the whole nine.
Yeah. First game with 5 extra inning home runs, as we said. That's regular season or playoffs. First time. Baseball's, as you know, well over 100 years. So you get that. First World Series game with 8 combined home runs. Dodgers first time losing a game when they were leading after 8 innings this season. They were 98-0. Astros first World Series win in franchise history since they were swept the last time they were there. Astros first team with a home run in the 9th, 10th, and 11th innings of a postseason game. Astros first team with back-to-back extra inning home runs in World Series history. There are more records. We could keep going. It was just breathtaking. I texted a buddy of mine that we were just talking about the greatness of baseball and this being on display and how good this postseason has been for baseball.
Yeah.
And of course we have intrigue out off the field as well with Girardi being fired and just you've watched now. I mean, look at the Red Sox.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
it's
crazy.
It's a new arms race, right? And the Red Sox. If you asked on May 15th, it's the Red Sox world, and we're just living in it. And now you look at those two situations between the old rivals, and the Yankees are in a healthier place. You feel like they got to get better pitching, but they got
to get better starting pitching.
Yeah.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Landowners, Mahindra's inventory clearance sale is going on now. We're reducing prices like never before on the toughest tractors on earth. Like a Mahindra Emax 22 as low as $99 a month. Or get up to $8,100 in cash back and savings. Plus, Mahindra's 7-year limited powertrain warranty comes standard.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Off me and my family.
You can donate to Help a Hero at all participating Sport Clips locations. Just ask your Sport Clips stylist or look for the Help a Hero donation box. And on Veterans Day, November 11th, Sport Clips will donate $1 for every haircut. That's what we call making your cut count.
My name is Jacob Dietz, United States Marine, and I'm saluting you.
Sport Clips. It's good to be a guy. To learn more about the Sport Clips Help a Hero Scholarship Program, visit sportclips.com.
Look at that mouth. That poor, parched mouth. So dry. What'd you eat for lunch? Chalk dust? Did your mouth cannonball into a barrel of mothballs? You're being awfully quiet. Is that because your mouth feels like the business end of a Dremel saw? Is it because your mouth just wrote a haiku and all 17 syllables were dry heaves? You're so parched. You know it. I know it. The entire radio knows it. Just admit it. You want a Mountain Dew. Your mouth feels like it just inhaled the insides of a punching bag, and the only remedy is that neon green potion. Right now, your mouth could be tongue bathing in the refreshing citrus kick of Mountain Dew. Instead, it feels like you've been motorboating King Tut's sarcophagus. Show some mercy. Crack open an ice-cold Mountain Dew. You know your mouth wants you to. Do the Dew.
RCD Shell has great prices on Mountain Dew Kickstart cans and Dew 20-ounce flavors like Code Red and Voltage. All just 99 cents. Stay hydrated and recharged with the energy boost you need to keep going strong with Kickstart and Code Red and Voltage. All just 99 cents at RCD Shell stores.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac is back at it, supporting the High School Scholar Athlete of the Month on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Listen every Wednesday to hear our monthly winners. Check them out at Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMCCadillac.com.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. So, yoga tonight, huh?
Yeah.
How's that going for you?
I like it.
I'm not making fun of you.
Yeah, I like it.
You sounded like you were about to have to defend yourself. I think yoga's awesome. You should do more of it. I should do more of it. The way I brought it up is random, admittedly.
Well, and the way you said, how's that going for you? That's why I thought, I was like,
no,
where are we going with this?
Well, let me tell you why I said that. Yoga's hard. Like, really hard. Way harder than your normal workout. Like, anything with weights, depending on, obviously, the how strong you are. But weights, whatever. You gradually get stronger, and then you put more weight on, and you go on. Yoga's always hard. And I get that as you get more flexible, it gets easier to hold positions. But holding positions, some positions in particular, as you well know.
Yeah.
Like never, in most other forms of workout, besides cardio, which I think is, any form of cardio is really difficult, mentally. I'm talking about the mental aspect of all this. Anything where you have to hold an athletic position for long periods at a time and your body begins to shake and you sweat profusely while just sitting still.
Right.
I mean, damn it, man. What's going on internally there?
Yeah, that happens.
Yes, it does.
Now I will say, I'm easing my way back in, so I'm doing the lower level stuff.
Right.
I
can only do the lower levels.
I'd gotten to the moderate level before, the flow. And flow is the one that gets you. I mean, there's obviously like hot yoga and stuff where the room
Have you ever done hot yoga?
Not yet. No.
Crazy, man.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, I pour sweat out enough if
just
I do
regular
if I do
yoga.
Like flow.
Yeah.
Because you're doing pose.
Right.
And the thing is, like, you have to have a good instructor. That's the whole key. A leader, a good leader. And, so.
You also have to be more flexible than I am.
That's probably
You can have
true.
the greatest leader of all time. If you can't do certain things.
I'll tell you the one thing that weirds me out the most is my flexibility in my shoulders because of golfing my entire life.
Right.
It's ridiculous. Like, I watch people, I look around, I'm like, you're not as flexible.
Yeah, but
now,
the problem is the lower half.
Hips and hamstrings, holy smokes. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's all about hips and hamstrings because I agree with you. Like, up top, you can do certain things, and you're more flexible up top than I am, but it's hips, hamstrings, man.
But the great thing is at the end, I won't get into the Sanskrit terminology.
Yeah.
But when,
I wish you would.
But when you're at rest at the end,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's just it's peaceful, man. You find your moment.
It's for real. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
I need to do more of it, and that's why I'm excited you're going, because at some point I will feel guilted.
Well, the place I go,
I'll be like, I know it's a million miles from where I could go, but there's a place right by my
Sure.
house that's well thought of.
well,
and
they
I
don't
still-
advertise, so I'm not going to say their
No,
name. But
yeah,
the place I go,
bastards.
you can guess. But they open the doors and you hear the fountain outside. I mean, it
Nice,
is
yeah.
the whole nine. It is.
And when it's
super
hot outside,
peaceful.
the fountain doesn't make you feel any better. But when it's like this and you hear the fountain, like, oh, I can embrace all the beauty of the outdoors.
And there's a restaurant in the plaza. You hear the people talking. It's just a great white noise. It's outstanding.
I say that to say this. Let's read an email from Morgan. Must all issues be addressed during the offseason? He says he doesn't need his email read on the air, but he did want our thoughts on the air. I'm going to read it because it's a good email. I'm going to give you credit. I'm not saying your last name, so don't worry about it. There's a lot of Morgans in the world. I was listening to the podcast this morning, and the assertion that the needed changes are coming during the offseason and thus are not worth discussing week to week, and it struck me. It implies that coaching changes are the only changes that are needed. Those changes alone will not lead to the program reaching its full potential. Improvement, sure. But enough improvement? This season is a lost season. And while I, too, value the bowl streak and the consecutive winning seasons, I hope at this point that the season goes as badly as it needs to for Jimbo to adjust his game management and tempo issues, specifically his reliance on field goal attempts or field position over possession, and his reluctance to run any form of tempo which allows us to leverage our more talented roster and greater depth. I'll trade a 4-7 year for the changes that will make us again a title contender over a 6-6, and the changes that will make us a permanent 9-3. Thanks, love the show, Morgan. Well, he touches on some things that obviously a lot of people feel. This season aside, tempo in the number of plays run with a more talented, deeper roster has been a problem for Coach for a while. Now, when you overwhelm people, you can run 55 plays a game and beat the hell out of people like that team in 2013 did. But when the talent differential isn't that great in terms of being able to dominate on defense and win the field position battle every game and all, then you would like to have more possessions because you have the deeper talented roster on the whole. Maybe not one that overwhelms every week, but yes, one that with more opportunity would have a greater margin for error and you wouldn't see come down to a single possession game every week.
This is an interesting thought. This is an interesting email because I agree with the idea that there are larger discussions to be had about how much change needs to be.
Yeah, I don't need him to run 90 plays.
Right.
I've never been a proponent of that.
But also to the point that, it's not worth discussing. And to me, I think the reason, at least I say that, is it's not worth discussing every day. He's not going to give you a new quote every day, and, until we get into, maybe that's not true, there's already names out there about potential hires, candidates.
A lot of interesting names.
Correct. But until we get to the point where there is an opening and there is, a process going on, I don't know that it's worth every day saying Coach X needs to be replaced. How many times can you say that before it gets redundant? But I think to his point, next year, when we get into the next year, yes, we're still evaluating how the changes, how sweeping are the changes. Is it a new guy preaching the same message, and so therefore the process is still broken? I hear you on that one, Morgan. That's going to be interesting. But to me, I think inherently, if there is, let's say, 3 to 5 new bodies, if there are 3 to 5 new bodies in that coaching office, I think there's going to be a bit of a message change that goes along with it.
Well,
I don't think it's just, they're going to be doing the exact same things as the guys who leave.
Well, what you're saying then, and all of that would rely on Jimbo Fisher looking inward because he is the message sender. There is no other. He is the singular voice of the program and only speaks for the program. Nobody else does. And is, as a lot of coaches are, so this is not necessarily a knock, a control freak. And so is Nick Saban. So I'm just saying that's okay. That's normal. You see it throughout. Well, you see it throughout industry, business. You see this with CEOs. You're going to do it the way they want to do it. But I understand that because if I'm the guy that's going to get fired when things go wrong, I'm going to go down doing it my way. I got you. Yeah, I think to take a step back we could name 6, 7 coaches that we all think would do a great job here, and we're talking about on the staff that he could hire. You got this offensive line coach. You could go grab this defensive coordinator. Here's a guy that was at FSU and did a good job as a GA, and he's done good work over here at Oklahoma State and Oregon. And you could find all these guys, right? And we're all in the midst of kind of combing through various rosters.
The head combing.
and we're asking ourselves, well, can we afford him along with this buyout? Or, we're doing that game right now. But it's more interesting to me once that all shakes out. How much change do we see? What message and tone shifts? Because it will be then at that point an admission by Jimbo Fisher that he needed to change. And that's open for debate. I'm not sure that he sees that the same way we all do. I mean, we're assuming that he's looking at this 2-4 campaign in the same way we look at this 2-4 campaign. And I don't know that that's true. He may know, I got to shake things up. Sometimes people know you got to shake things up just to shake things up, just to get a new set of eyes on the issues and just to have a new voice, because people get tuned out, messages grow stale. Even successful managers left and right in baseball are being let go because of things that don't involve the win-loss record. And so you can see how that works. I got you. But that would mean, though, again, that Jimbo is looking at this and not saying to himself, well, if I had DeAndre Francois, we'd be 5-1 right now. This would be him saying, we lost 3 games last year. We lost 3 games the year before. We've already lost 4 games this year. We had a disconnect last year in the middle of the season that was captured by Showtime. I'm asking my coaches why we can't connect to players. I'm asking my best player why we can't connect to his teammates. And acknowledging that problem persisted again into this year, above and beyond the problems that they've suffered through no fault of Jimbo Fisher, which have to do with injuries. He would have to be looking at it with that set of parameters, right? He'd have to be looking and saying, well, we'd be better, and surely we were dealt a bad hand, and sometimes that's just ball. But I clearly need to do some things differently than I've been doing them because I fear the message is growing stale. That's why we've got players at times loafing. That's why there seems to be confusion. And so I'm going to make these adjustments personally as well as bring in different voices.
Fully realizing that I could be wrong about it, I think he's aware of that. And I think
that's what you're betting, and you are betting that, but I'm not sure that I agree with that. I'm not saying I disagree with it either. I just don't know, and we'll never know until we see it, until we look and we listen and we watch a season play out. We can't know. Even if he now there are maybe indicators. Certainly if he makes certain changes and brings in a certain kind of coach and you do the research on the background of that guy and you find out what his mantra is and what his belief in how to play the position or the segment or whatever it might be that he's going to be in charge of, there are inferences you can come up with. You can say, well, he brings this guy in because he's a high-energy guy, or he brings this guy in because he's militaristic, or whatever it might be. That might be an indicator of where his head's at. But you really won't know until he starts talking to the press. I'm telling you, I'm excited to when they get to the ACC meetings, and it's a long, long way off. When you go up there for ACC kickoff next year, if all these changes do occur, I'll be very, very excited to interview him. I always am, but I'd be very, very excited then. I want to hear the tone. You can usually read in.
Listen, man, it could be that it's over, for Jimbo, in the sense that the message won't be as good as it once was, and the program won't be as good as it once was under him. That could be. But I think we're taking steps to find out if that's the case at the end of the season. And that's why, I think when at least I say, well, the changes are coming. Once those changes do come, then we evaluate, how much of the details, how much of the process has changed along with it. Is it new bodies in the athletic office? Same problems?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you got to have that first domino has to fall. And that first domino cannot fall until we get to December.
These are interesting storylines. These don't always involve incredible swings of emotion, but when it's your team, it does. But I like watching these storylines play out elsewhere, and now it's happening here. I love watching. I know I beat it like a drum all week long, but I kept bringing up the article about Kelly at Notre Dame because it's really a remarkable turnaround with the way that they've played, and they got a big game this weekend against NC State that I'm really looking forward to. I think they're going to win that game. But that said, 4-8 is as bad as it gets for a winning coach at a big-time program. And the 17 new people coming in, including, 9 new coaches, that is an admission of I was doing it wrong and I had to make changes. And the way I once did it was right and it worked, but I had to make changes. That's a radical shift, and it's rarely seen, but it was interesting to read and watch now this play out, and this will be even more interesting since it's our team.
Sure. One thing I will say regarding those several questions in the email, I don't know how much he's going to change with tempo and fourth down.
Well, he's
logic.
never going to be breakneck, but he has played faster.
Sure.
He's done that here.
Here, yes. Well, I mean, hell, 09 is a great example of you have to outscore the opponent. I think what he bet on this year, and yes, he can make an adjustment mid-season, and you haven't really seen it. So, but there's a lot going on.
Well,
this year.
right now, I don't know that tempo is the greater discussion. The greater discussion is value in possessions, fourth down in opponent's territory.
Right.
Stop kicking field goals, man. Your defense ain't going to get stopped.
Well, the kid, it's a 50-50 proposition from medium range.
Also, 4th and 2 when you're averaging 4.5 yards per carry. Come on now.
But I tend to agree with him over the course of his career, most of his career, with the complementary football he plays and he game plans for. He gets that. The offense and the defense don't play apart from each other.
That's why I've said I've never had a problem called into question play calling. I'm not going to do that. He's a very good play caller.
I think he tends to understand what the race is to, kind of like, when we talk about how many points are necessary, that kind of discussion. I think he gets that more than he doesn't. Is he perfect? Hell no.
Well, there is no perfect coach. No, there's no perfect coach. I don't want to nitpick like that. I mean, whoever you bring in here, let's just say for some reason things just go cataclysmically wrong and this team continues to lose like all their games and it becomes an untenable situation. They lose to Delaware State and we are all like, this goodbye. And the sky is falling and everybody has had enough, including him, and he says, I'm walking, it's broken, I'm going somewhere else, I'm going to take a year off, whatever. Whoever you brought in, John Gruden, or you could do something extreme. Of course, I'm kidding, but his name always comes up.
I'm a big believer in working hard and probability and studying football and all that.
Good, John, good to know. We'll ask you those questions in the interview process. But so the thing is, any name you want, whatever. I mean, we all have guys out there. Everybody's got their preference. They like their style, like their personality. They think he would fit here. He's a good recruiter, whomever it is. You would be enlightened to their weaknesses pretty damn quickly, as you currently aren't, because that's not your team. You admire them from afar. And as you admire them from afar, you only note the highlight reel, and you see the wins, but you're not there on a day-to-day basis, and you don't watch every game, including the games against bad teams where your coach does something maddening and it reveals a bit about his personality that you don't like.
Well, this is where, the defense being, it's all right. It has its moments. It's pretty good. It's not terrible. This is where that kills you, because I think his plan for this season, given what the two deep look like on offense,
was for your defense to dominate.
Right. And if it does what it's supposed to do, then you're winning these games by 2 scores, and we're having the discussion after victories, not defeats. And I think that's where this season is partially lost as well. You got injury problems. Obviously, the coaching staff is not doing its best work. But I think he was banking on the complementary football equation being, all right, my offense needs a little help here, but we've got athletes, we've got experience. There shouldn't be no problem here with us dominating on defense and being, a talk of college football in that segment. And it just didn't happen.
No, it didn't happen.
And then you got hurt on offense. So here you are.
Yeah, now you're stuck. Now you're stuck in a bad way. Now you got to get a win. Now you got to get to 3-4. And now you got to win at home against Syracuse, and there are no guarantees there either, given the way they play and the way they're playing. But you got to get that win. You get to 4-4 before you go to Clemson. When I say you're holding out hope, well, it's all relative. I mean, obviously the goals are well off the table, but the goal now is to get bowl eligible. I mean, the goal now is to continue the streak.
Bottom line, Morgan, if Keith Gavin's returning kicks next year, I'm done. There it is. There's my pet issue.
Well, there are more than those. I mean,
that's a joke.
Well, kind of.
No, being the last straw.
No, but I think it would be indicative of the stubbornness that pisses you off. There are elements of what he refuses to change that do anger you, and they're right before our eyes. They're things that should be evident to everybody involved, most notably the head coach. You don't pick up punts. You lose all kinds of hidden yardage. your special teams has been a terrible mess for 2 years, 3 years. So
since the championship season,
so we that's something that should have been remedied, and yet when it's talked about, it's as if the complacency has set in, and that the belief is you can't do any better. Well, you got to do better, because first of all, in a game where you don't have as much margin for error based on the tempo you play and the way you like to play the game, complementary football, you can't lose all those hidden yards to special teams. It costs you a game, at least one a year.
That's 100% true.
And that's damn well maddening.
But, the other evidence about him, and again, this is, every year it gets we get further removed, but he had coaching staff A and coaching staff B, and both plans worked in the short term to do what they needed to do. So what does coaching staff C look like? Maybe you let it linger a little long here, but what does coaching staff C look like? And does it have the impact that coaching staff A and B did? I know there's some of the same players, but you take to my meaning.
Yeah, got to get younger. You got to get a couple new recruiters, and you got to continue to do something that he's always done exceptionally well, which is the main reason why I don't think the vast majority of the people out there want him gone. I think most people are, and again, let's say money was no object. I think most people still want Jimbo around, and it's because he recruits. We get good players. That's why this record's not acceptable. We get good players. I mean, at the end of the lost decade, I won't even name a player, but you got some kids out there that, what are we doing here? I mean, those are kids that wouldn't make the team at Wake.
And this is the one thing that if you really want to get angry every weekend and talk yourself into fury, this is where the problem lies. The end of lost decade, you just weren't good enough.
No, you didn't have good enough players.
Now you're
you weren't coached
good
well
enough.
Oh, way more. This is why it's unacceptable. And it's also why the conversation comes up, whether it's an email or I just elicit it or you bring it up or somebody calls it in off the air and wants us to comment on something. It's why it's Twitter. It's what is because the players are here. There's tons of talent everywhere. And you can't just fall back on, well, tough luck this year. Man,
tough luck. Two guys in the same gap every
week. Yeah, no, you can't do that. We'll come back, wrap it up momentarily. Jeff Cameron Show 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Landowners, Mahindra's inventory clearance sale is going on now. We're reducing prices like never before on the toughest tractors on earth. Like a Mahindra Emax 22 as low as $99 a month. Or get up to $8,100 in cash back and savings. Plus, Mahindra's 7-year limited powertrain warranty comes standard.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Angus, pick any two for just $17. Beefs, bet your Angus it's good.
This Day in Sports brought to you by Superlube. Superlube, 19 Tallahassee area locations. Quick, convenient, no appointment necessary.
This day in sports history. October 26th, 1984. Playing against the team that he would finish his career with, Michael Jordan makes his NBA debut with the Chicago Bulls, scoring 16 points in a 109-93 victory over the Washington Bullets. Jordan would go on to win Rookie of the Year honors and was third in scoring, while averaging 28.3 points per game.
The secret to better gas mileage and a longer-lasting engine? Superlube it every 3 months or 3,000 miles. The secret to even better gas mileage? Fuel Joules, a gas tank additive that'll increase your MPG by as much as 7%. And today, when you change your oil at Superlube, you get a free bottle of Fuel Joules. Crystal Matthews and Amber Cossack own Solid Start, the company that makes Fuel Joules.
Every time we sell a bottle of Fuel Joules, a donation will be made to the National Breast Cancer Foundation.
In October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
There are 19 Tallahassee area Superlubes. There's probably one right around the corner right now. Free offer valid without coupons or discounts.
Live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Redemption Thursday on the Jeff Cameron Show is brought to you by Frank's Auto World on West Tennessee Street, ranked by Car Gurus as the best used car dealer in Tallahassee. Check out the best selection of pre-owned vehicles in Tallahassee at franksautowworld.com.
Wrapping it up, Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Oh, great song. Well ahead of its time, huh? So let's do this. Let's get to our one of our favorite segments, especially tonight, because there is something on tap.
Ready for a cold one?
I am.
Proof
No,
Brewing
Tom,
Company in Railroad Square Art Park presents What's on Tap. So, Jeff, what'll it be?
I forgot you're doing the yoga, so no, it's not no brew for you tonight.
No, well, you know. Yeah. I had a birthday brew or two.
Yeah, I had one with you. That was fun.
That was great. Good time.
What's on tap? Lightning hockey. Certainly not going to be an NFL game that I watch tonight because that is garbage. What you get with the Dolphins and the Ravens is a whole lot of me not watching.
Bend over.
Mm-hmm. What are we doing here with that game? I can't.
Hey, man, Matt Moore is starting that game for the Dolphins.
And
I'll be
you
checking
love
in.
you some Matt Moore. I know, man. You're a big fan, so I'll watch the Lightning. That's what I'm going to do. 7:30 tonight.
It's a good call.
They'll beat Detroit, and we'll go to 9-1-1, and you can get you some rest of the NHL.
If you like, and this is the problem, I wouldn't recommend this game to the casual.
Yeah, this isn't going to be the one to lock it in.
There's a lot of technicality to the way that Detroit and Tampa play. A lot of neutral zone checking, tight checking. It's not going to be an up and down.
Tom's telling you all to take the under.
Yeah, unless there's some puck luck or a lot of penalties.
Well, that's in any game, yeah.
Or if the officials call it tight, because our power play is so good that we'll score 2 or 3 goals on the power play alone. So.
You know how happy I am about that, by the way? Because we've had years where it's terrible and it's hard to watch.
With all the talent in the world.
And that drives me crazy to watch us perform on the power play now. I get up and dance a little bit. It's beautiful.
Oh, the puck movement
it's
is
so
just
quick. Boom, 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 boom. Shot. You get so many opportunities.
Yeah, because
and you got snipers.
Well, and they hired last year Todd Richards, and it took a little time apparently. But the puck movement is so brutal.
So
it's like,
much better.
If you try and chase us, well, then it's 2 passes wide open look. You know.
No, and that's all you can ask for. You want to look. You want to get some shots. I mean, sometimes guys stand on their head. Sometimes the puck hits the post. But give me shots. When we were bad on the power play, how many times were you sitting there like, we didn't even get a shot?
No, it's overpassing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They shoot more, too. And that's something that the head coaches tried to put in their brain. But apparently the message got through with Todd Richards, the assistant coach. That's a big, big, big thing.
Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. Our thanks to Proof Brewing Company for sponsoring What's on Tap. Proof Brewing Company since 2007 offering Tallahassee's finest craft beer selections at their massive tap room in Railroad Square Art Park. And of course, canned deliciousness at stores near you.
Yeah, it's award-winning canned deliciousness in stores near you. I would say this, though. They missed the playoff by a point last year or whatever, a game, and they were awful in the beginning of the season. They just didn't try very hard.
Mm-hmm.
But what 91 and 86 for Tampa, Stamkos, and Kucherov were going to do last year is what they're doing this year. They are a match made in hockey heaven. They're averaging close to 2 points a game combined, the both of them.
Makes me giddy. Long season. But I will temper my enthusiasm ever so slightly because I like embracing being great. And we thought we would be a year ago, and we weren't. And we were lazy. And we did a lot of things that infuriated the both of us. And it was hard to watch at times because you thought, oh, you guys believe you're just going to turn it on, huh? And then injuries happened, and, there were no turning it on, and my goodness.
It would appear the culture is better this year, too. It's the same coach. And
think it's the anniversary? What do you think it is? What's better about the culture? How does that happen? Was it the Drouin? Did they tell Drouin to have a good day?
I think he was a locker room cancer. I think a couple other guys weren't great for the mojo, the dressing room.
You know what's hard about tonight when we do this What's on Tap feature? Obviously, we're always going to be watching something in all likelihood. Some days, maybe not. Sometimes you're reading or just playing outside or whatever the hell you're doing. But there's just nothing that we can consume tonight for entertainment that can match what took place last night. I mean, you're watching one of the greatest games, postseason-wise certainly, in the history of baseball. It was insane. Records broken, moments after moments that passed, not just the moment where you say, okay, what a great thing. I'll remember this game. I'll remember this series. I'll remember this moment. Because the second you got done saying that, a new moment would take place, and you go, well, my goodness.
Baseball's been played since Reconstruction, and you have never had an extra inning game with 5 home runs in any variety, regular season, postseason, anything.
There have now been 22 World Series games in which there were extra innings home runs. It's 22 total in extra innings. 5 were hit last night. In extra 5. 22 all time. 5 last night. It was unreal, and it was fun, and the emotion was there, and you had good player. Like, for example, there's nothing fluky. I mean, going yard against Jansen, that's not going to happen, right? Jansen, you watch that, you go, what in the world? And even
you go Oppo with that.
Well, and Verlander was great.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you give up 2 hits, and they happen to be homers. You're like, well, that's a toughie. I mean, for a long time, it looked like the team that had owned the game was going to lose said game.
Sure.
It was akin to hockey or soccer, somebody doubling up on shots on goal and possession.
Oh, it was baseball. Baseball.
Oh, it was cruel.
The look in Verlander's eyes when he was in the dugout, the faraway stare was, wow. So we're going to lose this game.
Yeah, I'm going to pitch like that.
I'm going to be on the losing end of this game.
Mm-hmm.
I got no hits through 5. I was perfect through 3. No hits through 4 2/3, I should say. And really, this is how it's going to be. We're going to lose this thing.
You know what's I don't. Sometimes I think it's just silly I guess you would have to be locked in, tuned into it. It doesn't. It's silly for me, I guess, to do that. But I go back sometimes and then catching up on the story. You watch the game and then you go read the different angles from those that covered it. ESPN has an entire page after these games dedicated to win probability. Stop that.
I don't know who clicks on it. That's what I want to know.
I don't either.
There are
the win probability for the Dodgers when the score was 3-2 in the what was that, the 8th inning, was 74.5%. Like, who clicks on it? Oh, man.
Right. Like, you hear about it the next day. And that's fine. But in the flow of it, it's like, well, okay, so it's this. What's our win probability? According to my calculations, we're 72.
Nobody's doing that ever.
And then they click on it. Oh, it's 76. That's right. I forgot about,
this variable.
Yeah. There's 1 out, not 2. Sorry.
Well, how about he leaves a fastball out over the plate? Let's see what the win probability is now. I mean, it's just, can we watch the next pitch? Anyhow, good work out of you. Good work, Matthew. And to all who called and or listened, we do appreciate it. Always be well. Enjoy your evening. We'll be back with you tomorrow. There's nothing coming up that I need to pimp, do I? Yeah? Got to pimp some high school stuff?
That's right, the countdown.
You're damn right.
It's tough times right now in Tallahassee. It was a rough week for our Tallahassee high school
Oh, the
sports.
high school kids lost?
Most of them by margins significant.
Who's
Yes.
good this year in locally? Do you have any idea?
Godby? I don't know.
You just threw that out.
I just
You
threw
have
that
no
out
idea.
there. Well, I used to live next to Godby in college.
I have no idea. I did too. But yeah,
That's true.
Yes,
You did.
I did too.
We
Yeah,
were the Ocala guys.
right there, buddy.
15
the
years
little
later.
Bridge, yeah.
Little
the
did you
practice
know.
field, yeah. I couldn't tell you. No, I have no idea. I hope they all win. And the countdown's coming up.
That's
They'll
right.
tell you.
They'll
They
tell you
know.
about it.
They're locked in.
They do know.
They absolutely know. Good stuff. Good night.